I don't understand it now, because the actual USB microphone I was using last night when I talked to you, it's not, even though Discord sees it, it's not working. So now I have to use the inferior embedded microphone in the laptop itself. Great. All right.
How are my levels? Am I coming in good? This trip. That sound good? All right. That's my B. I was trying to help.
Oh, darn. Hi. Oh, you want me to go now? Well, hi, I'm Felix. I used to do stuff on YouTube, but college has kind of gotten in the way with that. Now I just exist in everyone's chats, and I do mean everyone's. I seriously check out every single person who's on last stream to see their stuff. So I'm always in there watching, and it's great to be back.
Sorry guys,
And that's
I just looked at the I'm so sorry. I just looked at the chat and I see everybody's like, "You're muted, you're muted, you're muted." I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I I just looked at the chat. It was like, "You're muted, you're muted, you're muted." Okay. All right.
Awkward.
Yeah, I know.
You hear
Awkward.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Great. Yep.
Finally.
All right, cool. All right, next let's do to Grimace. Grimace,
Yes.
go ahead and introduce yourself. Now he's muted.
Wow, I am muted. Apologies. Yeah, twitch.tv/algrimus. You can come check out my channel. You can come argue with me. I think that's most of this audience right here. Tree, I haven't like updated you on the tree of logic I've been growing. I got it in a new pot now, and it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty healthy. It's got a couple more sprouts, a couple more branches. It's
So Grimace,
it's doing well, just so you know.
I've never asked you this before in my life, and it's only because now I'm noticing all the plants. Is that part of your job? Are you into agriculture or something, or landscaping?
No, I'm a software developer. I just like plants. I don't. They're very soothing to my inner fire. Yeah. So I got my Monstera deliciosa. I picked up last week. It's pretty big. I got some new orchids. I got some hanging plants. I got a rubber tree. A ficus elastica.
So you have really supreme oxygen in your home, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool.
Some would say too much oxygen, but yeah, I wanted to kind of make a statement about your last panel. I had a supposed proud boy run away from me in my panels, and I understand why you had to do it like that, but like this is like too important in this like day and age to not have these conversations with each other, these contests, and the fact that like Big Bad Bear Jew takes it upon himself to like to make it so
talk about him
you
while he's
you have
not
to make
here to defend
no
himself.
I can because he's run away from me. Okay,
No,
because he's a
he
coward,
did not talk
and
about
I would love
you. No,
Tree.
he did not talk about you.
Okay,
his last.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Why would he? He's
cannot
hopefully
do that
ashamed
dirty
from his
trick of
tactics.
no,
But
if you
Tree,
want him to come on your panel,
I want to have
on your show,
like a
sorry,
serious
your
debate.
show.
I want to have an actual debate with him over a 3-hour period if you want. I'd love for you to be the moderator, and I'd also like, since Destiny has been floating this idea of hosting debates as well, having you co-moderate with him, like a rivalry
Steven
about
can do it.
community
I
members
think,
that you have.
seriously, Steven
But
actually would be a great moderator. I would be too, but I would rather him do it than because the reason
I mean,
why I
you
don't
can
want to
both
be
do it.
because I'm close to both of you, and Steven is not.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, like a proud boy, like running away from me. I mean, it feels good for me, but I'm also sad that we're not having these conversations that we should. We're just avoiding each other and spouting off nonsense against people who don't necessarily know where we're coming from. So yeah,
Grimace, I was just about to say how good you looked.
Yeah,
I really
thanks,
was.
I
You
appreciate
look
it.
He got a new
fantastic,
camera.
and I take it back. No, but his skin looks
Jupiter,
so
you don't roll
He
for me,
looks good.
Jupiter. Jupiter, like I like arguing with you, and you seem to appreciate actually having these conversations, right? Like you actually like having your ideas tested. This guy that I'm talking about, he doesn't like that. He wants to have no resistance, and he wants to spout off a bunch of nonsense. I can't take it anymore, Tree. And that's the last I'll say of it.
He
And
thinks you're being disingenuous, and sometimes
sure.
you are
So
unfair
let's
to
talk.
him.
So
let's not.
So let's have that 3-hour conversation where he can point out all these things. We can substantiate and have like a long, focused conversation. I don't want to like derail your panel on this case. But yeah, that's where I'm coming from.
First of all, let me go ask BJ, and if BJ would do it, then I'll ask Steven, and I know Steven would definitely moderate because he's a really good moderator. So I know he'll do it. Okay. All right. So let me see if BJ would do it first, and then I'll do that because anyway, we'll go into that. All right. Cats is new. Cats is from YouTube. All right. And I adore Cats. Cats came here by way of Jupiter. I actually loved him. And then, because what I did not like is that he used to hide his face. And I don't know why he is hiding all that sexiness, okay? You know what I'm saying? From everybody. So it's like now he's like showing himself. So Cats, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm our Cats gay, ? Just call me Cats. Everyone else does. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber, and I've said it before. I'm that rare bird of California homosexual 6th-generation Democrat who decided about the time that Black Lives Matter started taking over pride parades and telling like all this nonsense that I'm done. I'm done. And so, I've been doing YouTube sporadically. I'm a glorified weekend warrior because I'm also a nurse. But, I'm happy to be here and happy to exchange some viewpoints.
All right. And next, you all are familiar with him. By the way, my chat loves him. Jupiter, go ahead. And he likes, by the way, I have a YouTube political panel now, and he decides to go ahead and kiss up to them already so they can be on his team. Because the first one, he was just in my chat instead of participating in the panel.
Fake.
No,
That's fake.
it's not. That is exactly what he did. He was saying, because look, his girlfriend, he was not home to cook his girlfriend dinner. He came home late and she socked him in the eye. He had his big ass black eye.
Ugly as fuck.
He still had his black eye, and he was trying to get pity points from my fucking chat. So look at my girlfriend did to my eye. So anyway, go ahead, Jupiter.
No, wait. That's unfair. Fake news. CNN, MSNBC, Jim Acosta, they're fake news. Please. You know it. I know it. Frankly, Falix knows it. Rafiq knows it.
God.
Archer definitely knows it. I'm Jupiter, at Jupiter _ on Twitter. I will one day return triumphantly, but I just want to thank the socialists for giving themselves so much and me so little. I want to thank Ruth Bader Ginsburg for her service.
Oh, God.
God bless her soul. No, really. It is Rosh Hashanah. Oliver Sholem, God bless her. But I want to thank her for giving us the opportunity to save my country and I want to give this panel and the chat, which I am accused of flirting with, the opportunity to bask in the glory of Amy Coney Barrett. Let's go! Hi, Felix.
Thank you, Jupiter.
Oh God.
Thank you, Jupiter. And next we have my brother from another mother, one of our favorites here, especially on YouTube. Every time Rafiq comes, everybody goes crazy. He's like but also my moderators tend to clown him, saying that he's developing film in his red room. Rafiq, go ahead.
Greetings. Greetings, YouTube. My name is Rafiq Jennings. My Twitter and Instagram handle is rjennings333. Pleasure to be here. And happy Rosh Hashanah. I got some New Year's messages from my Jewish friends in Coney Island. And I was like, no, must be Rosh Hashanah.
Shana Tova, King.
It's always our Jewish holiday.
Also, we have Archer. Archer, I should put your YouTube channel, because you guys can do exclamation point sin, exclamation point GOP, exclamation point libs. I should put your YouTube channel. Archer is on YouTube and is killing it. Oh my God, you've been putting up videos almost every other day, dude. You're doing better than us. And his channel is growing. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go and go get your channel and switch it out while y'all are debating, or you guys are having discussion. Actually, this is because we kind of got to calm a crowd this time around, so we should have a nice discussion about everything. I don't think we're gonna agree on everything, but we're gonna have a nice, good discussion here. So I'm gonna make sure we pump you out, Archer. But Archer is now officially a Twitch and YouTuber. Archer, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Archer. I am a college dropout, if you will, Republican. I consider myself a realist, and I'm just here to grift. So the hype right now is Republicans and conservatism. So I will be grifting all today. So if you'd like to follow me, and you can't give me money yet on YouTube, but if you want to give me tons of money on Twitch, not yet.
It's coming.
But just call me the dude Dave Rubin.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
How dare you? On Rosh Hashanah, Archer.
We need more
on Rosh
homosexuals.
Hashanah.
And last but not least, the handsome bow you see up here towards my upper corner. I'm gonna tell you how I met Trip. I came into Archer's live stream, and there was this guy who was just having he was like, I'm a liberal, but I don't agree with a lot of things they say, and we did have a disagreement, but I like the fact that it was a rational discussion. It was not like, no, la 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 la, you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, you're right, and it was like I was having a good conversation. Plus, he has a very sexy girlfriend I was flirting with. We're not gonna talk about her though, but I was very impressed with Tripp's intelligence. I really liked the way he would calmly express himself. It was really cool, and I said, dude, I'm going to invite you on my panel. And so here he is. So Tripp, go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
So what's up, everybody? My name's Tripp. And a little bit about me. I don't really do the YouTube, Twitch thing. I mean, I have channels and stuff. I mainly go on other people's things. I do, let's see, I've been a professional graffiti writer, a male model, and a fisherman. Right now I'm a teacher. So I've had a lot of eclectic jobs in my life, and right now I'm talking shit on Twitch. So I like doing that, and thanks Tree for having me. I'm ready to talk some shit, so let's get into it. Oh, one more thing.
Sure.
You did mention I am a liberal, but I have no problem calling out either side, and I do just want to hold out hope for everybody else that there are some good liberals still out there. I promise, Tree. I know you don't like us, but hey, I mean, I'm gonna bring you over and let you know there are some good ones still left.
Bring me over. That's gonna be a neat trick. Okay. So anyway,
I'll do my best.
All right, so let me see, guys.
Wait, can I, real quick?
Sure.
Grimace, is that a real background?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. See my
He's into horticulture.
my orchid right here. I got my Ficus elastica
Gorgeous.
right
It
here.
could be a green screen. It really
I just
could.
bought a rubber tree myself, dude, like 2 days ago.
Nice. I have all
There's
three of
probably
them.
some other
Okay.
green.
I got the burgundy, I got the variegated, and I got the Indian version right here.
Yeah, I got like 150 plants right in my backyard. We'll talk.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Fucking liberals.
I know. God, y'all talking
Fuck
about
Science-
liberals.
science
God
teacher.
damn it.
Yeah.
with
Can,
their
can we
plants.
can we keep the soy off the fucking panel, please? No, I'm
It's soil.
Drink
It's soil. Okay, it's soil.
Soil. Okay,
Yeah.
soil. Sorry.
But
Good point, Cass. All right, guys. So listen, I was shocked. What happened last Friday? I was on the air when we learned that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away. When it was told to be one of my viewers, I didn't believe him. I had to go fact check him, and once we saw that it was true, we were like shocked. And then of course everybody started to like, I guess once the shock they got over the shock, everybody started going in and start like having their own take on it. And now all we're thinking about is, is Trump going to fill that seat? And he is. The left hates it. The right gloves it.
Did we just lose Tree? Because I don't have anything.
Huh?
She's there.
No, I hear
She's
it.
there.
I can't hear anything.
You
She's
can't
in
hear
there.
me? Hold on a second.
You're a little watery, baby boy.
Hold on a
Cass.
second. Let me see. It's his. Tell Cass to come in and out of Discord. Tell him to come out and then come back in.
Cats, go out and then come back in.
And
the
he'll be
Discord.
able to hear me. He'll be able to hear me.
Then you'll be able to hear.
Tell him just to do it to Discord. Don't do it to whereby.
Just
do it.
Discord, not the whereby.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to know what you. So we're gonna have a discussion on that. So let's have an open. You can do 1 to 2 minute open dialogue, uninterrupted. Please, when you all say what you got to say, I'm gonna time you, and you can't go over 2 minutes, but you can go to 30 seconds to 1 minute. You can even go. You can even decide to not say anything at all. You can say, I want to pass my time. So let's start with Trip. Trip, I'm going to go let you get your 2 minute opening arguments out before we all jump in together. Go ahead.
You want me to talk about RBG or the riots?
RBG. We're starting out with
All right,
we're starting
cool.
with Ruth.
So here's my position. I voted for Obama twice, just so y'all know. I'm no longer a fan, but when everything was going down, when Scalia died, I remember I was at a house party. Archer, you're probably at the same party, honestly. But so people came in and they were like very happy. Like, Anton Scalia died. We're gonna drink more. I don't know. It was they were trying to party because he died, and they were saying that Obama gets this pick now. And when the Republicans blocked it, I was pretty upset because at the time I was a leftist, and I thought that it was pretty smug of McConnell to do that. And if for some reason the Democrats try to pull the same thing this time, the Republicans will definitely deserve what was given to them. However, it will prove that both the Democrats and the Republicans are hypocrites. If you try to block them and then try to pass one through this close to an election, like the Republicans are probably going to try to do, I think that's shifty and shady and wrong. I thought Obama should have had his pick. I think this time Trump should have his pick. But I don't like people switching and being hypocrites, you know, from one year to the next. And that's what's happening. I think that the Democrats are going to try to block if they can. And if they do, it's just going to expose them both as being complete assholes. I don't like any of the establishment Republicans or Democrats. They both annoy me, and they're smug. Pelosi's got to go. McConnell's got to go. I'm a liberal. That's me.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Tree.
Yeah.
There's some wild audio going on right now.
With who?
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me see.
When it's not Trip. Well, I don't know if it is, but when
Nah,
he
someone's
was
moving in the background. I heard it
Right.
too.
Exactly.
I had to switch to monitor so I could hear anything. Is that causing an echo?
It sounded like someone was like shuffling in the
Well,
background.
hold on. I don't hear anything now. So let's see if we still can hear it. If I'm looking at the monitor now, so we're gonna have
Somebody's got something open
wait a
in the
minute.
background.
I see it. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. Okay. Who's next? Oh, Archer, go ahead and give me your 2 minutes, and I'll look at them. I'll see whose monitor that is. Go ahead, Archer.
All right, so okay, this is how Washington works. Okay, everything is a power move. All right.
Hold on. Sorry. Cats, that is you. You probably want to like mute your mic. There you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry, Archer. I had to have you talk so I can see who's bleeding in. Okay, go ahead, Archer. Go start all over.
All right, so this is how Washington works. Not saying I like it or dislike it. This is just the name of the game. Okay. Everything is about power, right? Your political party needs power, and so back when Republicans did it in 2016, yeah, it was for power. Same thing with the Democrats. It's always a game of what party can get the most power as possible so that they can present their party's platform the best. Everyone here is going to be a hypocrite. And I don't think that there's anything super bad about it. Just realizing that, right? If you believe that your party is the best party and has the best platform to put forward, you should want your party leaders to present that platform to the best of their abilities. Democrats would be doing the same thing if these two places were switched. It's just unfortunate that the Democrats just get the shit end of the stick on these two Supreme Court justices. But it's happened plenty times before in the past with Democrats doing the same thing that Republicans are doing right now. That's my two.
Okay. All right. Next is Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead. Your turn.
Who?
I never thought about the hypocrisy of with Scalia because the hypocrisy of 2020 has been off the charts. So can't comment on that. But the hypocrisy of politicians this year has been off the charts. But as far as Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it's sad that she died. I really think she could have been more graceful about how to end her legacy and maybe perhaps retired when, she found out she had this terminal illness and just live her life outside of politics. But instead, she chose to just try to just go on as possible because she hated Trump so much. But until God or a higher power decided that she needed to depart this realm now, if the irrational left believes in a God, a higher power, the key to the lesson here is that there is a blowback to holding on to grudges. But I don't expect the irrational left to get that because once again, they're losing their minds over this. And yes, this is because Trump gets to pick another Supreme Court judge nominee. I mean, there's some, trying to play the moral high ground, but the Republicans have generally done that and it bit them in the ass because when you play fair with those who play unfair, you generally lose. So I say that Donald Trump goes ahead and appoint the next Supreme Court judge, and I hope it's not a Republican snake like John Roberts, and that she is the most pro-life conservative judge out there, a Phyllis Schlafly 2.0, so I can watch the left explode in October. It'll be the prequel to the explosion again in November when Trump is reelected. That's it.
All right. Felix, sometimes when you're moving, your mic is bleeding in too as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All
I
right.
have the windows open because it's getting really hot in here.
Okay, that's fine. No, it's like your headset mic is bleeding every now. I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay.
Jupiter, your turn now.
Well, I agree with Archer a lot. What he's saying about power is pretty apt, but the whole thing with the hypocritical McConnell thing, no. The Democrats didn't hold the Senate. They didn't even hold the House. They just held the presidency. So it wouldn't be hypocritical. McConnell said, I'm not going to bring Merrick Garland to a vote because he held the Senate. Merrick would have never got through. This is different. But one thing is, I'm done with the hypocrisy angle from the left because I have heard that protests are 93% peaceful. This protest is fiery, but peaceful. The whole hypocrisy thing is a little outdated. We have every right to put in the Supreme Court who the people elected as president gets to choose. That's just what it is. Now, if the roles were reversed, and this is a fact, Schumer would have zero flinching on putting someone in before the seat was even cold. Before Ruth's seat, her ass hadn't even let the seat get cold, Schumer would have had someone in there. So I'm just not trying to hear it. This is war. They declared war. They're burning down the country. It's time to go to war.
All right. All right, Felix.
Very dehydrated. I got tripped up there.
Oh my god, same.
Go ahead.
I've gone through like 4 bottles of water today just alone.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Felix.
Oh,
It's
is it
your
my turn?
Yep, it's your turn.
Well, first of all, I want to say R.I.P. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She has, even if you don't like her, she has done a lot in her 83 some years in existing. So I commend her for that. And I feel like, because this is what everyone has said before, it is a power move. And what I think is that if Trump really wants to try to bridge the divide and reach over to the left, he should wait until the American people decide in the election and wait till January after, until either we have Joe Biden sworn in or Trump considers his second term. And if Trump wins his second term, so be it. He can pick it. It was voted on. We just have to accept it. But yeah, that's about it. And whatever you say, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was iconic. Period. There, Jupiter. You happy?
Fair. True. I'll give it to him.
All right.
You want me a drink?
Grimace, your turn.
Sure. So a pro tip is don't prefix your arguments with stories about how kids partying reacted to Justice Scalia's death, and don't attack perceived smugness on the people you don't agree with. That's puts you on the path to making a bad argument. And there's a nice Machiavellian takes from Archer and Jupiter. It's their fault. We're at war right now. There's nothing we can do. We have to plan fairly. It's not the case. It's not the case at all, and that just shows your cowardice in justifying hypocrisy like this. McConnell said in his justification for not, I guess, going through with the Garland confirmation, that it's an election year and it's not appropriate to do this. Let's make the next president, since that's what's on the table this year, make that decision. That's what he said. And the fact that he had all the powers and all the cards is the reason he could make this statement. But he didn't simply say, I've got all the cards. That's not, he wasn't masked off like that, like you said. But as far as the Republicans go, at this point, it doesn't really matter what the Republicans should or shouldn't do. This is the party of Trump at this point. Trump has already said that he's going to replace RPG. He's already said it. It's too late, and everybody's going to bow to the king at this point. And it's going to put a lot of different things on the table for Republicans, especially those going for re-election, that they might have to actually deny this in some kind of case, or actually work against it. It'll be really interesting to see how it plays out. But if this goes through and everything works, there's a lot of things that are going to be on the board again, like abortion, gay marriage. But I think the main reason Trump is doing this is to have another tool in place in another institution of ours that can work in his favor when the chaos he's creating for the election goes down. That he has another person, another crony in a position to help him out when the votes need to stop being counted so that he could win, or that he needs to introduce different ideas, and that the Supreme Court could actually rule against. And the fact that he gets someone in right now to fulfill that is just Trump working and benefiting himself and continuing to drag these poor Republicans on this path to utter corruption. But yeah, that's it.
All right. And we got Cass. Cass, it's your turn now?
You can hear me now, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as far as the issue of the Supreme Court goes, I think that a lot of people are thinking about this in the wrong way. We tend to think in American politics in the 4 to 6 year election cycle, because that's, kind of the speed, the intervals at which things go. The Supreme Court isn't like that. The Supreme Court, on a political scale, is basically a geologic time scale. When someone gets appointed to the Supreme Court, it's for life. Or as long as they can hold on to it. Ruth Bader Ginsburg held on to it for that power as long as she, pardon me, as long as she could, and her health failed at a moment, whether it's opportune or not. It just, it's when her body gave out. The human body is a limited organism; it can only take so much. When Trump tries to replace Ginsburg, it's really short-sighted, I think, to try to say that it's about Trump. Everyone thinks that, people like Pelosi and Trump, they're thinking short-term, possibly. But really, when you appoint someone to the Supreme Court, it's not about what is going to help you in the next month or the next year. It's about what's going to help the country in the next decade. The Supreme Court isn't supposed to be an active participant in the current political cycle. They're supposed to be the wise, studied people that know what the country is supposed to be on, like I said, a geologic timetable. So I hope that whoever is put in will be someone that values the Constitution as a document that matters, as opposed to an impediment to what politics they want to get instilled. So that's really what makes the difference between who gets to choose the justices. Is the Constitution a impediment to what we're trying to get done, or is it something that we're trying to protect? And so for that sake, I hope that Trump is able to get someone in, because I have no confidence in the more progressive interpretations of what the Constitution is.
All right. Okay. All right. We have our free form round discussion. I'm going to start it off. And I'm going to address this to Trip, and then you guys can respectfully interject, but let the person finish their sentence first before you interject. And if I see everybody want to participate at one time, I'll call you each by name. So let me address Trip. So, excuse me. So Trip, let's see if we had a Democratic president and the Senate was the majority Democratic, okay, and the Republicans were the minority. If this was a time where let's see, if Ruth was Clarence Thomas and he passed away, you don't think that they would do the same thing? And I'm just throwing that out there, and everybody else can go for it. Go ahead. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Trip, you're muted. Trip. You're
Sorry.
muted.
Sorry. I think they're both dirty. I think they would do the same thing, especially when the precedent was set by. And I know that the argument was that it was so close last time in terms of a split in the Senate that we should let the American people decide, which I think is a good argument. But at the same time, the presidential power is to make an appointment. And even though it would be shot down, Obama should have been able to make his appointments and get these things, pushed through if possible. But it wouldn't have happened no matter what. But the idea that we're not even going to listen to it is preposterous to me. I think Obama should have had, I don't want to say more of a shot, but more of a shot. Like he's sitting, he gets to make appointments, they get to hear about it. And Trump right now is sitting, he gets to make appointments, they get to hear about it. And guess what? Who doesn't like it? Fuck them, because that's how it works.
Yeah, that's the whole duty of the president, and the fact that you wouldn't even engage in this and just not let a president appoint someone is pretty cringe in general. But if you're going to do that, at least be consistent. Don't be so overtly maniacally evil in a case like this one, because when you get put the very next election, it comes up again. Come on,
Grimace,
the entire republic is up.
Grimace, in 2016, did you agree that Obama should have been able to appoint a justice?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so why not now? If you're really principled,
who says I'm not? Who says I'm not?
Should Trump? Okay, Yeah,
Well,
then
are you?
clarify right now. Clarify right now.
Sure, yeah,
Sure.
yeah. If he
Okay.
wants to do it, that's fine. But at this point, the Republicans have manipulated 3 seats during Trump's presidency, and the other
Archer,
2 are the
Wait,
ones that I think the most.
That's
the
not
most-
the
Let
right
him
word.
finish. Let
That's
him
not
go ahead.
the right word.
Hold
That's
on,
not the
hold
right
on.
word.
Let him finish.
Archer, are you saying that Obama should have been also able to? Are you? I'm
I mean,
asking.
like, listen,
And everybody,
again,
this is for everybody. I'm just asking for, do we have consistency? Because if
I'll
we're
answer.
asking for
I'll
Grimace for
answer.
consistency,
Hold on,
Wait,
no.
wait,
I want
Archer,
Archer
yeah.
to answer. It was addressed to Archer. Archer has to answer it.
listen, I think again, power moves. I'm happy that the Republicans got a seat on the Supreme Court. Do what you
Wait,
do.
so
If
you're
the
just going to run
Republicans
away
have
from
to
this?
do-
You're just going to be a
Well, we're
coward and
gonna
not answer
run-
the question?
I'll tell you.
I'm giving you my answer.
That's not
No.
an answer.
No, Obama.
Okay.
let me talk.
Never mind. Never
He
mind.
did not-
Sorry. Yeah,
he
no
did not
integrity.
have-
The answer is no integrity. Everybody.
How is that no
Okay.
experiment?
Fair,
This is
that's
like,
not
wait,
fair.
Let him talk.
Elaborate, please. Elaborate,
Like,
please,
Democrats
Travis.
have integrity.
Yeah, you're not being consistent in this case. You
No,
have
how about you not
no
be-
moral
Yes, we are.
foundations.
It's not even the same ballpark. Number one, you guys didn't hold the Senate, let alone the House even. No, it's not the same thing, and I'll give you consistency. No, Obama should have had a hearing. He would have been shot down immediately. We held the Senate. It would have never happened.
Yeah, but then
What
if,
the-
if
wait, hold
somebody
on,
doesn't
wait,
get
let me
nominated, wait,
finish.
the
I
job
let
of the
you
Let him
finish. I
finish.
let you
Hold on. Let him
finish. Let
finish,
me
Grimace.
finish.
Let him finish.
What the Obama plan was, what the Schumer plan was to drag it out past the election. It was a Hail Mary. It wasn't legitimate. And I'll tell you this. After what the Democrats have now said, the minute they get in, they're going to move to eliminate the filibuster. Yes. How about this? I'm not only willing to say no, I'm being consistent, but also I'll be inconsistent and say, after they told me that they're going to eliminate the filibuster, no holds barred. This is now a country of wolves, and it is now time that we need to fight fire with fire. I'm not going to play by rules that you're not going to play by. So no, if this was Schumer, as I said, Ginsburg's seat would already be filled on Monday.
Yeah, that's fine, but the job of the president is to fill these seats. And it was Obama's job to fill these seats. If he
That is-
nominated someone,
that is
if he
job
nominated
for-
someone and it didn't pass
affirmative.
the Senate, he needs to work with the Senate to get an actual appointment that they'll actually confirm. And
Wait,
that's-
you're assuming that the Senate has to accept whoever the president puts up.
yeah, the Senate has
Right.
to act in good faith
No,
as
no, it
to
doesn't.
what the.
Absolutely not.
Well, yeah, if you're a coward,
They
it
don't.
doesn't. But
No,
if
no,
you're
according to
somebody
the
who
United
believes in
States
America and our
According-
systems and our institutions, you know that the president fills these slots. And when you work
And
against
the
this,
Senate confirms
and you-
it. That's called checks and balances.
Yeah, that's
I can
fine.
Send you a
That's
Schoolhouse
why.
Rock video on
That's
checks and
why.
balances if
That's
you need
why.
to.
If you can't decide on one person, you keep the process going. You don't just stop it and just say, "Ha you can't get it. We got all the power. You son of a bit." Like that's not.
Is
That's
there
not
a
how this
certain
works.
point-
Okay.
is there a certain point when they should be like, all right, well, you've denied people. What if it happened at the beginning of a presidency and they're like, nah, we're just going to wait for 3.5 years? And what if they just kept denying because they had that majority?
Yeah, that's exactly
Wait,
what these
wait,
guys
wait,
are
wait, wait,
advocating
no,
for.
no,
This is
no,
what they're
no.
advocating for. They're like,
I'm saying it's possible that it could happen. So
Trip.
at what point do you say, okay, let's
Trip.
actually look at this person? Like Obama
there's no point. It's
nominated
war
a moderate,
trip.
which
It's
I don't
wolves
like.
now, right?
I don't
Trip, can
enjoy
I
that
explain
people are
this?
left. Yeah, hold on. I just let me say one thing. I don't like that people are like a judge could be left or right. I don't like that, but it's just human nature. You're going to have your biases, right? Obama nominates a moderate, and they don't want to hear anything about it. I don't like that. I think
No.
Obama they
Trip,
should have acted in good faith. That's a good argument. However, it still would have been shot down because it's Obama's pick and they want their hardcore pick. I get it. Archer has a
Then
good
you
point when he
nominate
says
somebody
it's a
else, yeah.
power move. It's a power move. It's a good point. I don't blame them. I just think it's dirty politics, and that's why I don't like politicians.
Okay, I want
Trip.
Jupiter, and then I want to hear from Katz, and then Rafiq. Go ahead. Unless
Trip.
Rafiq, I thought Rafiq was trying to get in there, but if not, then go ahead. Katz after Jupiter. Go ahead.
you are one of the more, and this isn't me blowing smoke up your ass, you are one of the more honest liberals I've ever come across. But I'll say this, no, it would never be, and I no, really, that opening segment, you're actually, yeah, I'll give you that. And that's rare. But when you said if the Senate could just hold up a Supreme Court justice and not allow the nomination for 3 years, No, when Merrick Garland was up for, it would never happen. It wouldn't need to be. If it was at the beginning, if it was right after an election, we would have no reason to hold it up. We'd say, yeah, hold it. And the Senate, which the Republicans controlled, would vote it out, and he would never get passed. But
wait, Jupiter, you're not contending with this hypothetical properly. In this case, we would have a new president, okay, and then there wouldn't be he wouldn't have the House, he wouldn't have the House, and he wouldn't have the Senate, and by your logic, Jupiter, wait, let me explain why you're not engaging with it. Let me explain why you're not engaging with it. In a situation where we come in with a president who doesn't have the House and doesn't have the Senate, and a Supreme Court justice dies, according to your logic, that it would be okay if we held up nominating or installing a Supreme Court justice until the next presidential election over the next 3 years.
It's called federalism. We've gone with 8, 7,
guys,
but it's dirty, man. There needs to be a
check
check against that.
I agree. Wait, but what I'm saying is, on both sides, we have had 6, 7, 8, 9 justices at any given time. And what I'm saying is, same thing Tripp said. Yes, it's dirty, but I'm a right winger. And so if the Democrats, which they've done on multiple occasions, have held up Supreme Court justices for over a year and 9 months, actually, then yeah, I'm willing to do the same. Yes, it's important to me. I play by the same rules as the enemy.
I want Katz in here. Go ahead, Katz.
I think it's awfully precious that people are going on and on and on about the moral purity of these decisions, as if politics had anything to do with integrity or virtue. The goal is not to be the best person in the room, it's to be the one in the room that's still standing. If you think it's wrong, that's fine. It doesn't really matter what you or I or anyone thinks. The only thing that matters is it legal and will it work? As far as the Supreme Court goes, like I said, the Supreme Court is not just a different branch of government. It is one of the only aspects of our country that is more or less supposed to grant stability. Everything else is up for debate, up for election every few years, but the Supreme Court is forever. So of course people are going to just pull every dirty trick they can to get it. And, you know, it's very unfortunate that politics is not a clean, moral game. What are you going to do?
We're going to talk about it in forums like this and point out the hypocrisy of Republicans and at least shame them into believing that they actually don't care about these rules. They don't actually care about playing fair. They don't actually have any principles. And then the Machiavellian take that
does not have
all
any
they have to
legal
do is just have an image of an
any
enemy
argument
and to
he's
justify
making.
their own.
He has to make these bullshit or moral arguments.
I'm sorry.
Just know that.
This is just the world I live in, which I expect a little bit more from my fellow human beings. That they just justify their immoral acts by just saying that, hey, there's somebody else who is also acting immorally. Then that means I can act immorally.
Listen, I can give you.
I don't know what to tell you, and anybody who's aligning themselves with this kind of thought, I feel sorry for you, and I feel sorry for our republic at this point. I'm pretty scared.
I would shoot a man in cold blood on Fifth Avenue for a Supreme Court seat, and so would Grimace.
In a video game, you would. In a video game,
don't put words on that.
In a video game, not
Disavow.
Disavow.
Rafiq.
J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling.
Rafiq,
she's canceled, bro.
Go ahead, Rafiq.
Rafiq made me say that.
No, he didn't.
Mind control.
I second what our Katz Gay has said about this integrity thing. Hypocrisies on both sides. It's not just Republicans bad and Democrats good. Okay, it's not a comic book.
I'm does every conservative have the same take? Like there's no principled stances here. It's like, the Democrats do it. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, guys.
Well, hold on. I have a question. Hold on. I have a question.
Conservative, whatever you want.
Conservative,
reactionary, whatever you go by.
Grimace. So, my same question that I asked Tripp, I want you to answer it. Would you like me to ask it again?
Yeah. Ask it.
If this was let's say for instance this was Hillary Clinton, she was the president, and we had a Democratic majority Senate, and Clarence Thomas passed away. God forbid, said the atheist. And this was the same thing that happened. Would you have a problem with them going ahead with Hillary and not Nancy, Chuck Schumer being the majority leader, going ahead and filling that seat?
Yeah. I think I made that like pretty clear. If we're going to do this, we need to make sure that at least there's a shot, at least there's hearings, at least we can put these senators up to task when like we can see, say, Obama reaching out like an honest interlocutor and putting a moderate candidate out there, that we can actually see the senators who are the wolves that Archer and Jupiter seem to think are just all politicians, and see which ones are actually willing to listen and work with the opposing party. And that's what we need in this country at this point. And we're getting divided further and further.
Hey, Grimace, how many peaceful protesters were there?
Do you want to pivot away from this right now, Archer? Archer, are you pivoting right now? Archer, are you? Archer, you feel shame right now, don't you?
Sit on this fucking
Archer, oh man!
All the peaceful protesters, they're the rioters.
This is the straw man. This is the idea you guys have in your head. You have no idea my opinions on protesters.
It's not a straw.
You have no idea. Archer, what is my opinion on the protesters? You have no idea.
Straw man.
No, Jupiter, Archer, Jupiter. No, stop. We'll deal with the riots later. Okay.
Can I address Grimace's point?
I wanna.
Can I address Grimace's point really quickly?
Sure, and then I want to hear from Felix in reference to does he support the decision that's being made? Go ahead.
All right. So hypothetical. Right now, if the Democrats had a majority, would you be supportive of waiting till the next term? Let's say it was like 50-50. Would you be supportive of them, or 51-49, waiting, just like they did last time when McConnell was trying to get the Republicans to block?
No, waiting. We can actually engage with him honestly. But if Trump wants to like if we had a president who was capable of something like this,
will you entertain a nominee?
But if there actually was a president, if Trump was would go and like try and work with the other side and go through these nominations and get like a qualified Supreme Court justice out there that everybody can be happy with, yeah, I think the Democrats should go along with that.
Interesting.
I
agree.
Hold on. Shout out to Lecture Fan with the raid. What's up, Lecture Fan? Thank you so much, and welcome everybody. We're having a panel here. Thank you so much, and you guys be sure to check him out. Lecture Fan.
Hey, Lecture
hold it
Fan.
down. Felix, what do you think, Felix? Do you think it's fair for Trump to do this, or do you think he should wait to see if? I'm sorry, you already answered that. You said, well, let me just hear your opinion because you just answered that in your. Yeah. Sorry about that.
In my honest, I mean, at least what I would think is, what if they're doing hearings, and what if let's say this happens, what if the hearings last so long that a new president gets inaugurated during them? What happens then? That's my whole problem with it. Like, I feel like it'd just be smarter for everyone to just wait. But if Trump really wants to do it, I mean, he has the power to do it. There's nothing stopping him. I don't think it's a smart move for him.
So like Felix, in like this case, it's pretty close to the election right now, right? But we can at least go forward in good faith and see if like Trump will actually fulfill his duties and put towards like a really good candidate out there that everybody can agree with and everybody can unite together behind. So it's not a political game, right? We could actually go through those procedures and then we could see the people who are up for election or will be up for election too, who don't act in good faith, and the ones that don't. And we actually would have more information as voters to vote for the correct candidate. So we don't have people like Archer and Jupiter thinking that it's a dog-eat-dog world and that nobody has any principles at all.
I mean, he can go through with that. I don't know if it'd be the best idea, but there's nothing stopping him from it. In fact, honestly, I would like to see it just because, if anything else, it'd make this election more interesting than it already is.
It also is a dog-eat-dog world. So
Okay, I'm gonna
Archer's
get
right.
Can I just interject real quick? Real quick.
Katz is trying.
Cass has a softer mic, so he can't. So I'm gonna have to interrupt on his behalf. Go ahead, Cass, and then Archer, you can go ahead and speak afterwards. Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, I apologize, everyone. My microphone does not allow me to participate like that. Does anyone really believe that there's anyone that Trump could nominate that would not trigger some sort of riot? Is there a candidate? I'm curious
Garland.
who this person is.
Garland.
Sure. Okay, so like, do you really believe that if Garland was nominated, that Antifa and Black Lives Matter would cancel their siege of the White House?
Listen, I don't know why Trump feels threatened like that, and he's in a bunker. But like the anarchists aren't like a part of this political process at the moment. They're just throwing a tantrum because their candidate didn't go through. I don't know like why. I don't like. What does this have to do with what the topic that we're talking about? Unless you just need that enemy to insert into this argument.
They'll riot no matter what.
Relevant to this conversation is because people are thinking about what is going to happen whenever they propose something, whether it be at the local level, the city level, or the state level. The fact is that violence has become a permanent component of our politics now, and if you ignore that, you're just being foolish.
Why is it permanent?
Because whenever someone does something, whether it is the right decision or the wrong decision, there's going to be someone who's like, well, what? They're going to riot. It doesn't matter what the decision is. It's all about sides now. It has nothing to do with the actual issues.
Why is it permanent, though?
As long as we have these entrenched positions.
So it's not permanent. Yeah, if we have like moderate, good faith politicians that we can vote for, we can get away from this. We can get back to having good discussions and good contests in the political sphere. We can get away from these anarchist kids, and we can all like agree to shun them, like in general, right?
Yeah, just that's what you want, a whole riot. Like they're certainly not saying that on Twitter right now. Like, and they certainly don't mean that they're actually going to do that, because that hasn't been happening in Portland, Seattle, Washington D.C., New York, or any other city where there is a large, very militant leftist position.
Right, and you know what? Grimace, can we be honest here? This is a fact.
I mean, we're talking about the second topic.
May I?
Okay, I don't know if we're being honest right now.
Wait, no, this is honest. Wait.
Okay.
If we replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg next week, every city in this country would burn to the ground. That's a fact. Wait. That's a fact. Hold on, you do that. No, that is a fact. I've been
you have to be honest. You said you're going to be honest.
Okay.
Come on.
Grimace,
Come on, Jupiter. Hey, Jupiter. Come on, seriously. Like, no one on here but Grimace is honest. Okay, he's the only honest person here. Okay.
Right.
So.
Well, Archer.
Do you see? This guy just said he was being honest. Archer said, "We both know that we're not being honest." And Jupiter's like justifying it right now.
Everyone else is dishonest.
Yeah, but it's not going to be every city. Let's be real. It'll just be half of them.
Right. And Archer. And if I'm lying, then why does he need to speak over me? Here's the truth. No, every city won't burn. All the red cities will be fine. But yes, all the blue cities will burn to the ground. But let's be very clear on one thing. I'll tell you what will not happen ever is the Democrats appointing a Supreme Court justice and the Republicans rioting. No, I'm not going to allow one of the most important institutions in the country to be held hostage by, yes, legally we should do this, but, the Democrats are going to burn our cities.
Those people you're referring to as Democrats are anarchists and rioters and kids who don't like give a shit. We've already defeated them.
They're communists.
They're not Biden supporters. They're like Bernie or Buster accelerationists. They've been kicked out of the party. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
No, they haven't.
And I don't know why you conflate the entire Democratic. Whoa, excuse me. I don't know why you have to conflate the entire Democratic Party who like literally. Are you done, Archer?
Don't believe your lion eyes.
Grimace, is it possible that some of them are Biden supporters?
Yeah, no, some of them might do that eventually, but it's not fair to say that these people are like establishment Dems. Like if they vote for Biden, it's because literally they think that like Trump is a fascist, right? Like that's the only reason.
Biden voters. But they're Biden voters. Even
they
if they
could
hate Biden,
could be Biden voters. Like any
they're voting
person
against Trump, but they are Biden voters.
Wait, are you guys conflating like opposing someone and like holding the values of another group? Like
I think what
they
Jupiter
don't hold the
was
values of the
that-
Democratic Party. Like do
I think
you
what
disagree?
Jupiter
Do you
was
agree
saying
with
is that
that?
Then why are they in the
Yeah,
Democratic Party?
They don't have the
They're not
values.
in the Democratic Party.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
No. Grimace has a point when he says they don't hold Democratic values at all. Establishment Dems, they are not establishment Democrats, but they will vote for Joe Biden because they're voting against Donald Trump, and they will burn down cities because anything sets them off. When rapists get shot, they burn down their own cities. It's ridiculous. When someone dies who's a Supreme Court justice and it gets filled with someone they don't like, they will burn down a city.
I didn't think I'd like have this conversation about engaging like honest politics, and then we'd be bringing up rioters and BLM and anarchists who are like they have absolutely no political power at all.
Hold on. Here's the thing.
You're the one who keeps saying they're burning down our
country. It was not every fucking Democrat was turning their eyes to the riots. They were calling Republicans fucking racist for saying that there's rioting going on in fucking Portland. Even when Republicans said, "Hey, there are peaceful protesters, but there's a lot of fucking riots." No, your fucking party was the party that was conflating the fucking two all the time. And now when it's hurting Biden in the polls, Biden. Hold up. Let me.
I know, and you're saying a lot of dumb things.
No, Grimace. You gotta.
I'll finish it with this.
Archer, go ahead and finish, and then Grimace, you can go ahead and get into it. You guys are being unfair to each other. Then when I protect you, Grimace, then all of a sudden, you don't want me to protect them. So
I don't need
audience members out there. Let's play a drinking game, okay? You take a shot every time fucking Grimace says your argument is dishonest when he doesn't have a fucking argument to back it up with.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So
if anybody,
what are y'all drinking?
Down his throat. Go ahead, Grimace.
Yeah, so like these kids are not a part of the Democratic Party. They don't hold democratic principles, but they do identify of the two parties in the country and the two factions, the majority factions, that the one that poses the most threat to their own livelihoods is President Trump, and that's the only agreement they have with us, with liberals. So. The fact that they can identify a threat isn't enough to conflate anything they do with the Democratic establishment or what liberals do.
Why does the Democratic establishment turn a blind eye to these people?
Okay, they're not turning a blind eye. I don't know.
Yes, they
I
are.
don't know. Maybe if you got into the echo chamber and actually looked at Biden, condemning these things.
So that's what you do right there. Is you try to discredit my argument by saying, "Oh, you haven't done the fucking research." I have done the research, actually.
Okay, so
you're being so dishonest.
What is your statement right now? You're saying that nobody on the left condemns the riots?
The Democratic establishment was not condemning the riots for months.
When you say the Democratic, I would love to go down this hole. When you say the Democratic establishment, who do you mean?
The politicians, I think he means that.
All politicians, from local level to the federal level.
So when you're saying this, you're saying that they're saying these riots are fine, or that they just don't address them.
They turned a blind eye to it. They turned a blind eye to it.
Okay, so could a reason be is because they don't want it detracting from the BLM protests who are protesting racial injustice?
Thank you. There's my answer.
No. Wait. Why'd you give up? I'm asking you this, and we can keep going. We can keep going down this line.
I got my answer right there. You just deflected.
Wait. How is that giving up?
Wait, who's giving? Are you talking to Archer? He just gave up. Yeah, like I wasn't finished with my point. And I asked him a question. He's like, "Oh, that's the answer."
Just pivoted.
Wait,
was my answer.
Archer, do you not think that there is actually? You said it yourself that there's actually a good reason behind these protests. I know this is the second topic. Do you agree with that?
Wait.
So originally we were talking about riots. Now you're talking about protests.
Okay,
originally we were talking about Supreme Court picks before we got pivoted out here.
Talking about riots this entire time.
We're not getting on that yet. We're
Can I say, wait, real quick.
We're still sticking with Ruth Bader. Why y'all want to jump
to topics? You guys really want anarchists to be establishing Dems for some odd reason.
Tree.
I don't want this to go to the second topic yet. Go ahead, Jupiter.
LC and CHAZ.
No. Daddy stays on topic always. This is my mode. I do this. Wait. Let me say something. Everything Archer said was true. Everything Grimace said was a deflection, yet Grimace said what Archer was doing was a deflection. It's typical leftist projection, but I'll say this. If you don't think that every one of these voters, and by that I mean rioters, are voting Biden, you're wrong.
No, I didn't say that. No.
And wait.
I already addressed this, and you're trying to put words in my mouth.
I've
already answered this.
Grimace, hold on. Go ahead.
No, they're not establishment Democrats. Establishment Democrats are dinosaurs. They're on their way out. The far left is eating them alive. I can guarantee you within 5 years, you won't even know the name Nancy Pelosi. And not just because she's 100 years old, as are all establishment Democrats. No.
This is a weird deflection, Jupiter. What are you talking about right now? Does anybody notice this? What are Nancy Pelosi being 100 years old?
No, aren't you the one that brought up establishment?
You've gone on a tangent.
Hold on, darling, shush. May 1 second. You rant. No, you said these are establishment Democrats rioting, and I'm saying no, they're not. But they're the waves of the party. If Biden wins, these are the people that are going to carry him to victory. And so no, they're not
can you substantiate
establishment
that?
Democrats, but they.
Can you substantiate that? Like
They say that
we're
Biden's
talking
more
about the
malleable
fringes
than
of
Trump.
Yes, I can, easily. How about this? Bernie was whooping Biden's ass, even though Biden had the full might of the Democrat Party establishment, one of the most diabolically powerful political establishments ever.
This is a perfect example. So Bernie was whooping Biden's ass?
Whooping his ass.
Okay, in what, like where, when? Like I missed this.
In the primaries?
Biden destroyed Bernie in the primaries.
No, he didn't. Pound for pound, he didn't.
Pound
for pound mean dollar
It's just
for dollar
anybody understand?
after
Like, you see how dishonest this is?
Okay, hold on.
wait.
Jupiter, no, stop. I will set the record straight because I do this for a living. In the beginning, Bernie was way ahead of Biden. And it wasn't
Yeah,
until
no.
hold on.
In the beginning, when there was a bunch of candidates.
Let me finish. When it came to South Carolina, then that's when Biden began to be ahead of Bernie. That's the order of events. Bernie was ahead, big time. Then when it came down to South Carolina, because Biden got the black vote, and remember, we heard all the stuff from the Marxists and the commies and the Bernie bros talking about these are the wrong type of blacks, or they're not that educated or well informed or whatever. We started hearing the racism coming out from that camp. That's when Biden began to lead ahead of Bernie. That's how it went. Okay.
I mean, there's a little bit more to that, right? There are a bunch of different candidates in this race at this point, and the majority of them held pretty much the same stances as like your typical moderate Democrat. And then we had a single candidate, I guess, two candidates if you count Elizabeth Warren. Although Elizabeth Warren was like outed, like was despised by Bernie bros. But as soon as it came down to two people. As soon as we came down to two people, the establishment Democrat nominee, Joe Biden, versus the crazy, not even a Democrat, he's an independent, Bernie Sanders, he got absolutely destroyed. And the fact that you guys can't see that and you still want these to be your enemies, it says more about you and the way you think than like any kind of actual observation of reality that you think you're engaging with, because you're not.
The only reason Bernie didn't take that primary is because Warren, Buttigieg, Harris, and everyone else fell in line after the party told them to. Bernie is the heart of the Democrat
that's perfect.
Party.
That's perfect, because when we're talking about ideas, like 90% of the candidates had basically the same ideas. Then we had Bernie Sanders, the socialist, and as soon as because there's like 10%, it looked like it was close. And as soon as you actually put Bernie Sanders' ideas to the test against Democratic ideas, his ideas didn't fit. They didn't fit at all, and he got voted out. And I guess he conceded.
Okay, so
just like every other.
Is so shallow. Stuff. This is such a shallow analysis because you're not looking at the number of candidates that are out there.
Archer.
Wait, no. What's shallow, Archer? I'm not looking. I thought I identified it.
You're looking at just the ideas. You're not looking at the number of candidates and what candidates are cannibalizing other candidates.
That's the point I just made, Archer.
Okay. You were just talking about ideas when you put Bernie's against Biden's, but you're not looking at the entire race.
Archer, I don't think you're keeping up with me. I can appeal to chat in this case. Like I made a point in the fact that we had so many candidates that had the same ideas, the same general ideas, and we had a fringe candidate with some crazy ideas that didn't fit the Democratic institutions.
I want to hear from Katz. Katz, I've been patiently waiting. Go ahead, Katz.
Thank you. I just think it's worth mentioning that it's not that out of left field to say that a lot of the Bernie bros and the BLM Antifa, non-establishment Dem people are going to be supporting the Democratic Party, even though the Democratic Party doesn't actually support their position, because it's not unusual, because we already know how corrupt the Democratic Party is as far as like the exposed emails where they would say, okay, this is the candidate that we're going to favor. It's not news that both parties are incredibly corrupt, but the Democrats are not above playing favorites, saying like, okay, we'll let Bernie be the front runner so that we get all of the young liberals to say, okay, like the Democrats are hip and young and down with the social. And
This is a conspiracy theory, Cats. Like, there's no way you can.
No, let
substantiate
him finish.
You
No,
address
stop.
No.
I
I would love to see the evidence that the Democratic parties wanted Bernie Sanders to be at the head of the pack so they can bring in
Until the end.
young liberals.
I
I want that
finish.
substantiated.
I know.
Just-
Hold on a second. Hold
Yes.
on. Let Cats finish. You know what, guys? Don't make me mad now. Okay. Let Cats finish. Because here's the deal. You big mouths. Okay. When I say big mouths, we're talking to Jupiter. We're talking to Archer and Grimace. You guys are allowed to hear each other. Cat's mic is very soft. He cannot out yell you guys. So please, when he's talking, don't interrupt him until he's finished. And as a hag, I am putting my fucking stamp down here, and you going to leave my gay alone and let him speak. Go ahead, baby girl. Okay, you do your thing, Cats.
My man.
All right.
Love you, Mama. But I don't have a better microphone. I'm not sure why this happened, but
Don't worry, I got you, Cats. I'm not going to let them talk over you anymore. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think that it's a particularly controversial or conspiratorial position to say that the Democratic Party has a timetable and favorites that they choose. I mean, we already saw the emails as far as like, that Hillary was supposed to be the favored candidate, and they weren't happy that Bernie was being selected. So is it a real leap of faith? Is it some weird conspiracy thing to say the Democrats are above using people that are vaguely aligned with their politics just so that they can move forward? I don't think that this is a controversial position.
Why
right.
else would they let him caucus with them? It worked on me.
Seriously.
I was a Bernie guy for I was going to vote for him in 2016. And then
because it's in our rules. We're an open primary. We hold those. Like, we allow everybody to come in and say their ideas. I know it seems
that's
weird.
great. I'm talking about like on like CNN or ABC. Like they can just be like, nah, we don't want you in here. Like,
What do you mean them? Nah, you talking about the objective media right now, or what are you talking about?
media and the Democrats.
Wait, you're saying you wanted CNN and those places to? You're saying they let Bernie Sanders in so they could get the youth vote? Is that what you're saying? That's
No,
the reason they
I'm
covered
saying that
Bernie Sanders?
No, I'm saying that if they did that, it definitely worked.
Not
What do you
wrong.
mean? What do you see this conspiracy theory? You're just
I'm not
you're going backwards.
I'm not saying it's.
You're going backwards. You're starting at the wrong place. You had your
No.
conclusion, and then
what's
you're
happening.
coming up with a
What I'm saying-
justification for
No,
it.
what I'm saying is what Kat said. If what Kat said is true, it worked because the end result was the same. They got people. I was in college at the time. All of us
Okay,
were down for
so-
Bernie. Everyone I was around.
Wait,
what
Grimace,
what
Grimace,
happened?
wait, hold on,
what
hold on,
happened
hold on.
if it isn't true? Since that's what we should be talking about, like
You
the
and your
truth
wait,
of the
hold on,
matter,
all
right?
right, all right. If it isn't
That's
true,
probably
wait, you're
probably
talking about
likely
fallacies.
that it's not true.
If you want to talk about fallacies, that's the biggest fallacy. Here's a truism, and what Kat said is true. Statistically, there's tons of evidence for it, but let's say it isn't true. The Democrats did absolutely ride the youth Bernie vote. Ride it, all through the primaries.
Sorry, when you say
All
write it,
their-
what do you
wait,
mean?
Hold on. What do you mean? What do I mean? Ride
Yeah, when you say write it, like just that the youth came in
The
because of Bernie
energy
Sanders,
behind it,
or
yes,
that
the
the
energy
Democrats
behind it allowed them
wanted
to
Bernie
think.
to come in
No,
so he
no.
could bring in the youth. That's what I'm asking you. That's the crux of
No,
my
that's
argument.
what you're interrupting me. What I'm talking about is
And
when I
after
say
after
ride
Jupiter,
it,
I want to hear from Felix. Go ahead.
and I'll shut the fuck up after this. I apologize, but I have to get this out. This is a truism. The Democrats did ride the very hard left Bernie youth college vote to get many House and Senate seats. It's a fact. And then once they saw that he actually had momentum and that the Democrat base might have wanted him to be president, in my opinion, they did, and he was cheated. The entire establishment coalesced around defeating him. He was totally screwed. After that, they were like, well, we can't have him as president, and let's screw him. But yeah, they did ride this socialist bubble, and now they're trying to ride it again ever since the polls started showing that the riots are killing them in the polls. They're like, oh, riots, they're no longer peaceful. We don't like them. Katz was right and Tripp was right. It is true. I mean, refute that.
Yeah, you're just spouting nonsense. You haven't substantiated this
How?
conspiracy theory
You
that
always
the
do that.
Democrats.
That's a fallacy.
Yeah, all I want you to do is back up what you're saying instead of just saying what you think or feel. That's the only thing I want from you. Like, I want you to say, when you say that the Democratic Party was using Bernie Sanders to bring in the youth vote, I need some evidence. I need some way for you to say, well, there's a history of them wanting to put in candidates for different
That's
demographics.
so disingenuous, and you know it.
Okay, I want to hear from.
Well, fine. No, clarify it for me.
I would love to. Phalix, all right, I'll shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Here, I'll put it in the chat. Phalix, please. I love you. Go. I
Oh boy.
apologize.
Thanks. Okay, so as a current college student who, back when I was going to campus, however many eons ago that feels like, I remember every single crazy person on that campus, and I say crazy because they were crazy. They would literally like threaten to hit each other with cars and shit. That's how crazy they were. Every single one of them was either like a very, very strong Bernie supporter, or they just were not into politics. And the only people I remember specifically being for Biden were all the super old professors I had to go talk to about like grading papers and stuff. So I'm not saying that they're right, but I'm saying maybe they have a point, because I've never seen young people this motivated about anything political, like, ever in my life. Like, I remember going to high school and seeing when Trump was, like, first, like, back when Hillary Clinton and Trump were, like, against each other, all the young people in my high school were like, yeah, we want Bernie, we don't want Hillary, we want Bernie. And I think it's just because he promised them free shit, let's be honest.
Yeah,
people don't
but
wanna
like,
fucking
as
work,
far
they're
as,
lazy.
as, far
That
as the
got me.
entire Democratic Party goes, Felix, you agree that most Democratic voters didn't want Bernie Sanders, and we saw it play out in the primaries, right?
Most of them don't want it, but the young people wanted it. And guess what? The young people aren't
Yeah,
going to
we're
get you
all-
the vote because they're fucking lazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Bernie Sanders got a decent size of the vote of the vote. I wouldn't go as far as to say is most.
I'm glad I've got you guys to back off your claims about the Dems screwing Bernie Sanders, and he should have won the primary.
I never made the
You
wait, hold
should've
on.
won
I never
the
made that
primary.
claim.
Oh, sorry.
I
Okay,
never
no,
made
Archer,
that
sorry.
claim.
Archer, your argument is with Jupiter. Go ahead.
Cat fight.
I don't argue with my homie, but I'm just telling you this. They did screw Bernie, and if you're so
100%.
disingenuous that you
You're
can't
disingenuous,
admit
you liar.
Listen,
All right, hold on.
Archer,
No, sorry, no, Archer,
Everybody
no, Archer,
drink.
Archer. Hey, I'll
Well,
play your
listen,
little
wait,
game right
okay.
now.
Well,
Jupiter, what am I being dishonest
I'll
about?
pass
What am I being
the olive
dishonest
branch over to Grimace because we're falling on the same one
I
here.
love these
Let
conversations.
me say this.
You guys just say
real
things.
quick. All right. Listen. What? Okay. Specifically, how did the Democratic establishment screw over Bernie?
Me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I'd love to. Number one, 2016. The only reason Hillary even won in 2015, was the superdelegates. And in multiple areas, Bernie's superdelegates were pushed over to Hillary, votes and municipalities that he won. That's just 2015.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
want to
but-
talk about if you want to talk about this election, Bernie was railroaded so hard. What happened was it was Buttigieg, Warren, Harris, the
All the other
Latina
losers.
guy, all the other losers, and Biden. And they said, all right, we're going to coalesce around Biden. It was Bernie,
Harris,
Biden,
yeah.
Buttigieg. That was the race. Then it was Biden and everyone else against Bernie. But let me ask you this. How many
His numbers didn't change, by the way.
wildly, wait, hold on. How many wildly enthusiastic Biden voters do you know?
Wait, okay, hold on. I got to address something real quick. Okay, 2016.
Trip had it. That's a $10 vote right there.
2016, but in 2016, Bernie Sanders was going to lose regardless of his superdelegate count.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Did they cheat?
So-
But
hold on, but that's
Archer,
that's
you got
already-
this. Get in
that's
there.
already baked. That's already baked a part of the system. Like you know that going in beforehand. This has been a thing within the Democratic Party for since I think the 1960s. The superdelegates. The rules are already laid out. Bernie would have lost either way in 2016, whether or not he flipped any of the superdelegates or
Right.
not.
I agree with that.
And in 2018, so in order to prove that the Democratic Party screwed over Bernie Sanders, you have to prove that all of those candidates came into the contest with the intent to screw over the progressive vote.
Can't
Which
prove
I don't
that,
think.
but it's a
which-
little suspect that
Yeah,
the day after
well, then
all
you
of them
can't.
fell in line.
You can't make that claim though. That they were actively trying to screw over Bernie Sanders unless you have the evidence to prove.
I'm not making a factual claim, but I'm making a claim that from what I've seen, I mean, come on. I don't have to have evidence of this. Like, I don't have to have it on paper.
What do you do?
To show you that, no, it's very suspect. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there were states that were reporting that Hillary won with 0% of the vote counted. They were reporting that Hillary won. That's absolutely preposterous to me.
I'm sorry. This is so disconnected. Anybody who's following politics in 2016 knows that Bernie Sanders didn't stand a chance.
No, he didn't stand a chance. He didn't stand a chance in 2016.
It's because they cheat.
He did stand a chance this time. He did. He did.
Oh, he did this time?
They were never going to let him in. They were never going to let him in.
No.
Right.
Jupiter, the overall point I'm trying to make, we're talking about the Democrats and their ideas. Like, as soon as we had a moderate Democrat versus Bernie Sanders, where the ideas of the modern Democratic Party, the party of liberals and incrementalism and being
warmongers
versus, we can get into that if you want.
Please don't.
Versus the socialist,
Sorry.
anarchist types, or whatever the fuck you guys think that you guys base your arguments in justifying being unethical or unhonest with your political takes. They've been defeated in the Democratic Party right now. They're out. They didn't come close, and they got absolutely destroyed.
No. AOC is primaried.
She's not a Democrat.
Wait. Are you talking about
She's not a Democrat.
No, she's registered as a Democrat. That's fine.
Yeah,
but she's literally a single representative.
And she's murdering.
Bernie Sanders,
insanely influential.
Yeah. This is
insanely influential.
There's 20 blocks in the United States.
They are incredibly influential.
Wait, do you know how many seats there are in Congress?
Okay, but how many of them have 7 million Twitter followers? How many of them have
You're missing the point because Biden has to bring in those people in order to get the votes that they had to win in the general election.
That's fine. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, there you go. That's the whole point, right? Is that the anarchists and the socialists are getting influence through policies that AOC, Bernie Sanders, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar are passing.
No, they don't want to vote for Biden. We just established that early. Jupiter highlighted the fact that nobody's excited to vote for Biden. They're voting against Trump because Trump is the greater threat.
Biden has brought in all of those people in. Biden has brought in those people to get their vote in the election.
Wait, so Jupiter, you have both these stances, or?
Wait. I have to. I know this is going to sound crazy. I have to defend Grimace in here. That's true. They're not excited about voting for Biden. They just hate Trump so much that they're going to vote against him by voting for Biden.
But it's on the wrong premise.
It's not AOC is not on Biden's team. She keeps talking about
Biden has to
She said get radicalized, vote Biden
in. Biden has to bring them in if he's going to win. That's where the emotion is. That's where he's going to get activists out on the street. The far left said he is more malleable and easy to manipulate than Trump.
Who is the far left who you have attributed this quote to?
All these high priests of critical race theory, all these people, the Sean Kings in the world, all these people that want exactly what you're seeing now. They want to see the world burn. They're saying, Reza Aslan said yesterday, burn it down. He said before there will be a nominee.
Biden has been it's pretty clear that Biden, but I mean, everybody agrees here that Biden isn't about burning it down, right? He's about returning to normalcy, right?
But he placates to them, and Act Blue bailed these people out.
Bailed who out?
The rioters.
I want to hear from Katz, but I also want to say this though. I want to put this on the record. I really don't think it's what Biden is doing. It's not really Biden. It's who's behind Biden.
He's not there, man.
We're gonna keep going down. Wait. Is this all the conservative arguments now? Like these conspiracy shadowy people operating behind the scenes?
Is it a conspiracy that he's sundowning?
If that's all we have, why won't you let Katz talk?
Go ahead, Katz. Go ahead.
Do you think it's interesting that we try to talk about who is the establishment Democrats? Because it's true, the majority of establishment Democrats do not
Katie.
I know, she's evil.
Adorable.
This is how you know I'm a super villain, because I have a white cat on my shoulder. We're talking about who is establishment Democrat, who would win, who not. It's true, like the AOCs, the Kamalas, like, you know, the Ilhan Omars, they're not going to win right now. They're the up-and-coming generation, and the Democrats are looking long-term. They're saying, like, okay, yeah, we have the votes now. How many of our voters are going to die? These people are the up-and-coming faction. We want to make sure they're on our side and they don't split off into some sort of splinter faction. Because we've already seen they're willing to protest. They're willing to show up in our representative offices, and have protests, like, even when they're supposedly in our same party. I feel like, to that point that we were talking about earlier, when you talk about who is in charge, these people are playing a different game. They're not just talking about who's Democrat and who's not. They're talking about who is going to be the future. Politics is not just about short-term games. It's about long-term games. That's why we're so obsessed with this Ruth Bader Ginsburg issue right now, because, again, it's about what's going to happen in the future.
Bingo.
So, I agree with you for the most part, but I got like one point to make here, because like I hate this like because all of your arguments are based against like Antifa and anarchists and like people who want to like
They're communists.
Sure, yeah, communists. I agree with that. All the people that the moderate liberals of the Democratic Party defeated this year, and I'm upset that you guys haven't been paying attention. And that I want to pose to everybody a question who disagrees with this. It's like, if President Trump came out and he said, we're gonna label Antifa a terrorist group, and we're gonna label the Proud Boys and whatever, and some other like Nazi.
They did do that.
So if Trump did that, okay, no, okay, let me finish. If Trump did that, and then the Proud Boys came out and they were like, we got to vote for Biden, like this asshole, yada yada yada. He doesn't support us, and honestly, we need to go back to the way we were. Would they be Democrats? They wouldn't be Democrats.
Speaking of fallacies and straw men, number one, that's a hypothetical that doesn't even exist. Number two,
wait,
hypotheticals don't exist.
Wait, hold on.
Point of hypotheticals to test your ideas. Can you please?
Hypotheticals by definition do not exist.
Hypothetically,
you just answering the question.
All 500 Proud Boys, as opposed to the fucking hundreds of thousands of black bloc communists there are. There's literally hundreds.
No, but you're probably the ones rioting, right?
Okay, hold on. No, I don't want to talk about rioting.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love talking about the rioting. We're going to save that for the last.
Tree, please, just let me finish this hypothetical. Let's just pretend in this hypothetical that the Proud Boys, since this is like is escaping you, if the Proud Boys was the same size as BLM, okay, just add that to the hypothetical for yourself.
There'll be a lot of people standing around doing nothing except defending themselves.
Right.
Okay, just answer the question. Are they Democrats now because they oppose Trump?
Don't answer the question. Revis never answers.
No, you never.
I answer everything. When have I not answered something?
Can you show me these Proud Boy riots? Can you show me even on scale?
Sorry. Can you deal with this hypothetical I just gave you?
No, actually,
premise. Wait, hold on. Wait, Tree, come on.
Oh,
this
God.
is not
okay.
fair.
So you see
Wait, hold on.
how your idea doesn't work.
Right. Because
okay, Grimace, no more from you. Jupiter, when you finish saying, hold up, say your last word, and then we're getting out, because the rice is the second goddamn thing. You guys are doing it so early. I'm telling you, I'm trying to stay on Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Tree, this isn't me. But wait, hold on. He asked me a question. I'm not even going to get hypothetical. Let's just put it to scale. I want you. Let's say.
No. You were supposed to respond to it, not ask another hypothetical.
No, I'm not.
Responding with another hypothetical.
Tree understands the hypothetical. Tree, can you hammer this home on him for me?
Tree, please. Tree, handle these. If you want to do hypotheticals, you can do that for. No. You can do hypotheticals on the second round.
Why does he never get? Why can we never answer him? What I'm saying is this, real quick. If the Proud Boys were as big as Antifa, you'd be able to show me, as small as the Proud Boys are right now, how much damage they've caused to scale, and it's nil. The Proud
That
Boys.
has nothing to do with the hypothetical.
Okay.
It has nothing to
Exactly,
do.
that's-
Do you understand
Okay,
what I'm trying
stop.
to illustrate here?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, no
I just-
more.
I said, would they be
Stop. No.
Democrats if they were on the same scale as Antifa?
No.
Like, because they would now oppose Trump,
I don't
would they
even know
now
what
be
that
Democrats?
means.
Good.
I don't even know what
Oh,
that
okay.
means.
I'm going to
This-
put you
They
guys
are.
on mute. There we go. Whew. Okay. We are not talking about the riots. That's why I saved it for last. I saved it for last because I knew that was going to be the most heated thing. So I'm about to take you guys off of mute, and so I'm gonna ask a question, getting back to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and then we'll do closing arguments. Since you guys are so hard up to talk about rioting, we're gonna talk about that. That's why I saved that for last. So let me go ahead and unmute Grimace, and I'm gonna go ahead and unmute Jupiter. And here's my last question. So here we go, and I'm gonna address this to Cats. So Cats. Here's my and then you all can jump in afterwards, and then we're gonna do. So we're gonna be 5 minutes on this, and then we're gonna go to the rioting. Okay, so 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Last free form. So Cats, here's my question. When Trump appoints who he wants to appoint, since it's more likely going to be Amy, we don't know. What do you think is going to happen with the left as well as the right? Do you think that they will stop their focus on the COVID and start focusing on this? Because right now the strategy for the Biden plan was to show how Trump has been incompetent in how he has been handling COVID-19. All right. So now that this has been a boomerang, not a boomerang, it's been a monkey wrench been put into the engine. This has just basically clogged everything up. So now they have to do a new strategy. And do you think this is going to be their new strategy? Because they have 6 weeks or 5 weeks until the next election, and it takes anywhere from 40 to 70 days to confirm someone. What do you think is going to happen now?
I'm pretty sure that the Republicans will attempt to go forward as fast as they can. They'll probably try to follow the rules as closely as they can under unusual circumstances. The Democrats will call foul. There will be a number of factions that supposedly don't answer to the Democrats. Whether they do or not, who knows? But they will do stupid shit. There will be riots. There will be violence. And there's going to be a lot of grandstanding on both sides. COVID, what was that? I don't know. I don't care. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure that it's going to devolve purely into partisanship, and it will just be a question to see who has the superior will and who is actually able to push it through. That's all that will happen, and everything else is just noise.
What about the rest of you all? Trip?
I agree.
What do you? I mean, I don't know if I can say anything else that I
here's
haven't
the thing.
said.
So you guys, because you all are not noticing, and maybe because I do this for a living.
So this is my first time on.
No, not you, Trip. I'm not talking about Trip. I'm talking about because Jupiter and Cats do this for a living, and so does Grimace and Archer. All right, we all noticed that there's been strategies on. This is what the strategy of the Trump administration has been: law and order. All right, and that the Democrats are promoting lawlessness. And the strategy of Biden has been Trump is incompetent with COVID-19, and they put him. There was Twitter was trending 200,000 death. Blame Trump. Okay, that was their message. Now that Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away, it looks like the methods it's going to change, or maybe you guys think it's not going to change. What I'm saying is that her death is unexpected and was unplanned, and I wonder now, would that change the policy or the strategy taken up by the Biden team? If you don't know, don't worry about it, and we'll just go into closing arguments if you guys don't know.
I just don't want to hog up more than I have, and I don't like to have the dog on camera, but she actually ripped her toenail off. So
Oh, you can have animals. Look what Cat's doing.
no, I know, but she's needy. So if I could just say this fear actually it does work. It totally works. People are scared. People were scared to even think about replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg. If it was the reverse roles, there would be no fear of Proud Boys rampaging through the streets, burning all the cities down. Fear works, but it also works in this way. Trump's brash, very hard, in-your-face, New York billionaire style, it puts off suburban housewives, it puts off the suburbs, it puts off, the upper echelons of society. But the only thing that puts them off more than abrasiveness and brashness is riots and violence. Mm-hmm. The McCloskeys having to go out there and defend their property by themselves. And then once they do that, they don't kill anyone, but they hold guns out there in St. Louis. They get taken into fucking court. The suburbs are shook. This is not having the effect. And you know what? Grimace is absolutely right. This is not the Democrat establishment. The Democrat establishment wanted to ride these riots and protests out. It's backfired. And I'm just telling you, I want them to keep going. And I want them to...
So we're getting back on Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay.
Oh, I thought that was the...
No, that wasn't. That was talking about rioting.
It would have been a good segue, but
okay,
oh no, yeah, I apologize.
We're talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and we're going to do the riots at the next one.
I thought you said these were closing arguments.
I call on you guys for the closing arguments. You get your 2-minute closing arguments. There you go.
I know that. I thought we were getting all right. I'm sorry.
Tree, I got something to say. I'll do mine.
Go ahead.
So here's what I think is going to happen. No matter who Trump picks, and no matter who they put through, they're going to rake them over the coals. There's no way he picks a man in this political climate. No way. They will pillory him more than they did Kavanaugh. And I think what they're going to do, if they pick the current favorite, is they're going to say she's a religious zealot because she's a Catholic and she teaches at Notre Dame. And they're going to go that angle. And they're going to try to do the whole, you're a 90s conservative Christian who steps on Eminem CDs and you're, the devil. They're going to do things and say things that, one, aren't true, and they're going to caricature whoever the appointment is. And I don't like it. It's why I don't like the dishonesty of the Democrats lately and the dishonesty of the news lately. And it's why everybody that's privately messaging me is saying, all my Democrat friends, I was a leftist. I was like a communist 5 years ago. Okay. All my friends who are talking about this stuff back when I was talking about that stuff, they're messaging me privately and they're telling me that the riots, that the lies in the media are enough to make them vote differently than they ever have before. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to see more dishonesty from the Democrats who, like I've said, I am not for Democrats, not for Republicans. I'm for honesty and the truth. And if you're not honest, you won't get my vote. That's why I still support Tulsi Gabbard. Check.
Right. Ooh. Thank you, Trip. All right. So we'll go with so that's your closing arguments. We'll go with Grimace. Grimace, next you have your closing arguments. And then we'll get into the riots that you guys can't help but talk about. So we just Ruth Bader Ginsburg closing arguments. I
know. so just our
I
RBG.
didn't know.
Yeah. I would hope that we could have like a president like Obama to like reach across the aisle and get like a moderate candidate out there that we can vote on and have an honest discussion with. I don't think we're going to get that if we don't get some hard right-wing anti-choice or pro-life, whatever you want to call it, like candidate, then we're going to get like some reality star like Judge Jeanine Shapiro, whatever the fuck her name is. At this point, like it's all about the election, right? We see the politicization of the Supreme Court at this point. Like we've seen these three manipulations. And at this point, like we're just going to have a moderate Democrat step in and change these rules altogether. So this doesn't happen again. That we don't have these kind of things riding on elections. That these things can like just be as neutral as possible as they're supposed to be.
All right. Wow, that was pretty short. Okay. Cats, go ahead and take it away. Your turn.
I don't know what we can do to fix this situation. Like I said, the way politics are set up right now, I said this on Twitter recently. I think Trump could nominate Gloria Steinem. He could nominate, I don't know, a black trans woman in a wheelchair, and he would probably still face some sort of criticism for trying to stack the deck. There is, I mean, to say that there's no honesty in politics is duh, but there's not even the pretense at this point of anyone trying to play fair. There's no decorum. You can call it Machiavellian, you can call it dishonest, but the fact of the matter is, there's literally, what's going on right now in the Capitol is there's one side and there's the other side. And there's a bunch of other factors that we may or may not be able to control. We can talk about what's a conspiracy, what's not a conspiracy, but there's going to be violence no matter what happens. There's going to be chaos no matter what happens. And I just hope that people can actually stick to their principles and make correct choices, because there are people out there that are going to do things that none of us like, and there's nothing we can do about it.
All right. Next we have Felix. Felix, go ahead. Your turn.
The question I've been asking myself this entire time, at least in my head, is if this happened, say, a year later, or say a year from now, or 2 years from now, would the reaction still be the same? And I can't really answer that because I don't have all the information. But I think what would be best for everyone, and feel free to disagree, but if we all just decided, hey, we're going to wait for the election to play out, and then we can pick it, I feel like it'd be better. But who knows? Considering how society is as a moment with the COVID and the staying at home all day, I don't really see where we would go. I feel like regardless, I mean, what other people say, Trump could pick AOC, and there'd still be riots in the streets because everyone is just in this super tense, amped up mood constantly now. So I feel like what's best is we just need to chill the fuck out for a little bit, and we have to do what every college student wants to do and just put it on the back burner for just a little bit longer. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Okay. Rafiq, your turn.
Well, I have nothing to say. I think I said all that to say in the beginning.
Okay. All right. And so we're going to pass our time. Okay. And then Jupiter, you went, and then Archer.
I didn't go.
Okay, Jupiter, go ahead.
Tree is so down on me.
Okay, go.
Tree is so down on me recently. Well, I am out of Tree's good graces.
I love
just
you.
wanna say this.
I love you. Go ahead.
Tree is my favorite, and she's down on me, and that breaks my heart, and that's fine.
You might
I'm
be
gonna
mixing
sit
up
here-
too much. Okay,
I just want to say, Phallic. No, really, for real, Phallic is right. In a perfect world, if this was a different type of unified country, if this is the United States that we all grew up with, where it wasn't racial division and class division and riots and burning, I actually would say, to be a gentleman, we should wait. I mean, she's an icon, as Phallic said. She really is. She means a lot to a lot of women, both on the right and the left. The woman was a behemoth. She was amazing. But at the same time, given what we're going through in this country, and given I'm on the right and I'm in this war, in my opinion, I think that, yeah, I would love to be able to wait. I would. And just say, look, guys, we're going to wait for you out of respect, but I know the other side would never show me that same respect. So, I'm in war mode. So,
Jupiter, I want my statue encrusted with diamonds.
Done.
All right.
Rubies too.
Do super chats. Send Tree money for the phallic statue.
A phallic statue? Gross.
Not a phallus, a phallics.
All right.
Different
Archer.
things.
Archer. Go ahead, Archer.
All right, I'm not going to jerk anyone's fucking egos off here, okay? As much as it'd be easy to stand up on a soapbox and jerk people off, saying let's unite people and let's act all civil. This shit for the past 4 years, I'm just done with it personally. With what they did to Brett Kavanaugh, what they've done to Trump's reputation, what they've done to Republicans in sitting in Congress and sitting in the Senate, when Maxine Waters goes out and says surround people, Republicans, members of the House, what they did to Rand Paul recently. You know what? I'm not playing this fucking game anymore. System works a particular way. We have the chance to make a power move. Fuck Democrats when they want to talk about saying, oh, we need to bridge the peace. No, they don't want to bridge the peace. They're trying to make the same power move we're trying to make. So you either nut the fuck up and you make the power move, or you don't and let Democrats, who are completely willing to destroy people's reputations, you let those people run. So I say nut up.
6 to midnight.
All
Hard as
right.
a rock. Well said, King.
All right. Okay, so we had a poll while you guys were doing your closing arguments, and the poll was: will Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death ... And the options were: make things worse, keep things the same, or slow things down. And keep things the same was the winner at 42%. So
What do you mean by things?
Same. I mean, there's
Like-
there's
the riots and everything?
The riots,
Yeah.
the news coverage, the outrage, the Twitter counseling. It's not gonna make it worse. Okay.
So what does that mean? The chat is saying that
It's gonna stay the same. It's not
whether she dies or she doesn't, they're going to still burn the country down.
Well, they
She's
say that they're going to
sounds like-
burn the country down, but I think they're just doing a bunch of talk. To me, I don't believe that a lot of the liberals who are on Twitter talking about we're going to burn this down if they don't do it.
Not liberals.
Thank
The
you.
communists. The
Thank you.
communist
I'm
SJWs.
sorry.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Grimace and Trip.
They have become colloquially synonymous, unfortunately.
The communists. That is a problem that I, as a right winger, have, and I need to correct that to stop grouping you all in together.
It's okay, Tree.
I'm going to stop doing that. But yeah, the communists are going and saying that, but they're just basically talking out of the side of their ass. Out of this, it's just empty threats. They don't have the power to burn this country down, and they're not to. They're just saying these things out on Twitter. But speaking of that, so let's talk about the riots. At first, the riots had stopped because Trump, even though, let's talk about Portland, and then I'm going to segue into the riots in general. Portland, Wheeler keeps handcuffing the cops and saying, the police officers, by saying you can't use tear gas, you can't use this, you can't do that. And so the federal officers, the federal government has deputized the state police, and therefore, while the local police are standing down, the federal police are arresting them, and now they realize that they don't have the district attorney to sit up here and dismiss the cases. They are going to federal prison, and they are having federal felony charges. And based upon the new executive order that Trump has passed, they are going to be doing a minimum of 10 years. And so now they're getting a second thought about, maybe we should second guess this and basically come to DC. Now, do you guys remember that they were going to have a big
siege?
Yeah, the siege, where they was going
The
to
Jazz Festival?
Yeah, they was going to have a big protest in front of that White House that was going to last from the 17th up until the day that they have the elections. Well, they called that off because Trump was ready. Trump had the National Guard, they had the police, they had the state, they had the not state, but the federal police. So they had everybody ready, and then all of a sudden, when they realized, hey, this could really land us in federal prison, so big time. So let's not do it. And they canceled it. But then everything was fine. There were no riots for, I would say, about 5 days or 6 days. Then Justice Ginsburg passed away, and then you started again. But if you notice in Portland, they weren't playing this time. They was easily shutting it down. Okay, DC not so much. And I didn't get a chance to look at what's going on in Seattle. So here's the question. So the rioting has started again. Biden and Kamala were calling it, they were condemning it before. And it looks like, I don't know if they're going to condemn it again, but it looks like it's starting again. So is this productive? Is this going to help? Let's just talk about it in general. Y'all can do the hypotheticals. Y'all can do the back and forth. Now, this is the time to talk about the riots, since y'all said it should talk about the riots. So let's start off with Grimace. I'm going to let Grimace start it off on his 2-minute opening arguments here. Do not interrupt him for whatever reason, please.
So I'd like to reintroduce that hypothetical that was backed away from when I was testing the arguments of the people on this panel. The whole idea of like pointing like the anarchists and the rioters and the people who just want to like let the world burn as Democrats, or is that for voting for Trump you're voting against them is ridiculous. Like you're like Biden is not their candidate. Like they don't hold his principles. They don't hold the democratic principles. And that's what I'm trying to highlight right here. And the fact that the arguments are always posed in that framing. So my question to everyone, because I was highlighting the fact that these anarchists don't like Biden. We can agree on that. And that the reason that they're voting for Biden is because they don't like Trump even more. Right. And I think in their literature, it means if there's an actual fascist in power, you should vote for the liberal. I think that's what it says. I don't care about that shit. But what I was testing everybody with was like, if you're going to hold that position, right? And I can show, as these people are Democrats, right? Or you can represent the Democratic establishment as these people, that if we had another conservative group who was then put in a position where they couldn't support Trump anymore, maybe Trump declared Antifa, and I was just saying like an adjacent group like the Proud Boys, who are like anti-Antifa, right? And we pointed to the Proud Boys as like terrorist groups, right? And that the Proud Boys then came out against Trump, and they're obviously going to vote Biden. It doesn't mean they agree with Biden. And I'm just saying that we also wouldn't call them Democrats just because they're against Trump. That was what I was trying to get you guys to deal with, and I'd love to have you guys have another shot at it. As far as the writing goes, yeah, like fuck writing. It's pretty harmful to any kind of democratic movement, any kind of like racial injustice movement that we're trying to have. There's a bunch of people who are just they want to like tear down the government. They want to I don't know, bring meaning to their lives because they realize that they've actually had nothing to contribute to our society in general. And we can't, like, everybody needs to speak out against this. Like, anytime you see it, don't defend it, call it dumb, and focus back. I think, like a lot of people are trying to do in the Democratic Party, is to focus on the actual problem, was the racial injustice within our justice system. So, yeah.
All right. Felix, your turn.
I think I said this last time, but I think whatever meaning the protests originally had, whether it be about George Floyd, way back when, or whatever they're doing now, I think is about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They have lost whatever meaning, considering how many. Not all of the protests around this are riots, but all the big ones that people seem to have their eye drawn to are, which really sucks because it means the message gets lost on the way. And guess what? Everyone thinks we're fucking crazy, which maybe they're right, let's be honest. But I feel like the riots are really starting to damage Biden, at least in my opinion. Like, as much as I'm like, okay, maybe something good can come from this, I'm like kind of losing it. Like, when is it gonna come? Because I still think they could do something, but guess not. But there's still 5 weeks to the election. 5 weeks is a long time, especially because we all sit inside on our phones all day. 5 weeks is a long time, so maybe something good will happen. I'm ready and willing to be proven wrong. And that's it.
All right. All right. Katz, your turn.
Well, I applaud Grimace for taking a more principled and full-throated position than the Biden campaign has on the completely detrimental effects of rioting. Because let's be honest, with Kamala talking about how the riots are never going to end, or to some effect of that, yeah, there's been a lot of and then the campaign bailing people out for rioting. There's been a lot of kind of tacit endorsements on the Democratic side of this. They don't say that they are pro-riot, but they also won't say that they're anti-riot. So like I said, I applaud Grimace for actually condemning the violence, because whatever issues you have with society, with injustice, the violent terrorist organization Black Lives Matter has no legitimacy, and it should be called out at all times.
All right. Okay, next is Rafiq. Rafiq, go ahead.
I just want to say that there's a difference between the protesters and the rioters. There were people out there who had the intention to just have protesting until the rioters came to just destroy. And then you had the freeloaders who looted. So I just wanted to get that out there. As far as the rioting, winter is coming, and we know some people hibernate. It seems like there's a pattern that something has to go down in the summer where it's hot and people just have to get angry and fight the power or whatever. Right? How this could make the Democrats look bad is that it's not many Democrats actually condemning them and saying this is wrong. In fact, you have some in the Democratic Party whose family members involved in Antifa and these rioting. So I think that will hurt the Democratic Party. That's all to say.
Okay. All right, Jupiter.
Well, Grimace keeps talking about these Proud Boys. Well, and if conservative groups were to do this, well, they're not, is the thing. There's no conservative groups out there rioting. There's no conservative groups out there burning buildings, threatening people. I mean, the worst you get is like lockdown protests where conservative groups show up with AR-15s or whatever peacefully. Now, yes, the Biden camp is not the favored candidate of the mob, but Antifa knows that Biden is a Trojan horse. Biden is clearly not there. Everyone knows it. The Democrat establishment knows it. Even Kamala Harris said it's the Harris-Biden administration. Oh, and with the help of Joe as president, of course. And then he went and said it. Joe is out fighting corn pop and being in his own little world and the hair running up his legs with children in pools. The far left will be using him as a vessel to push through all of their nonsense. And so, yes, the rioters do support him. They do, because they know, yeah, he's an old neocon weirdo, pervert, racist, pedophile. Everyone knows it, but they're like, it's true. Tripp was a little shocked by that, but it's true. He's a little pedo-ish. I'm not saying he's banging kids, Tripp. I'm just saying he's banging kids. No kidding.
He's sniffing kids. I'll give you that.
He's a child sniffer, actually.
He lets the kids rub his leg.
Wait, what's that?
I have to push back if you guys are going to go down that.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Despacito. He came out and played Despacito, which literally means in the chorus is I'm gonna breathe down your neck.
No, stop.
Sorry,
Go on.
Tree. I thought I was in engaging in serious political
no,
conversation here. I didn't know there was this kind of panel.
That's serious. That's real.
You can't. Don't do that here. We're on Twitch. Okay. Okay. Archer, go ahead.
Yeah. So the Democrats, essentially, let's look at present day, okay? Democrats did not openly disavow Antifa. The mayor of Seattle called CHAZ a festival of love. Democrats labeled federal officers who were trying to arrest rioters as fascistic and labeling them as a secret police. Democrats have pulled cops from major cities while riots were going on. So, I remember Trump 2015, 2016, when he disavowed David Duke. He disavowed white supremacists. He disavowed all of any neo-Nazi organization. Yet Democrats still they still labeled him as a white supremacist and or sorry, as to use Hillary Clinton's words, a part of the basket of deplorables. So, the argument always changes. And listen, hey, I'm not knocking the game here. It's all about the game. It's all about power. Democrats will have everything to gain by having social unrest right now during this time, because social unrest hurts the incumbent. This is all a power move.
All right. And last but not least, we have Trip. Trip, go ahead.
Okay. So I have a little bit to say about this. First of all, Archer was talking about power moves earlier, and it's kind of a good point, because power moves are how politics work. And I think the biggest power move Trump could have played was to somehow stop the riots. And he did it without the far left being able to criticize him for being authoritarian. What he did was he deputized the Oregon State Police, and it quashed the riots pretty well. They're still happening, but they're not messing around anymore. The riots are perpetrated by a group of people that do not all share the same ideology. This is true. So there are some Democrats there. There are some liberals there. I'll give them that. There are many leftists there. The ones throwing Molotovs are revolutionary communists. They say revolution, nothing less. They have flags that say "We will tread." They will mob people in restaurants and force them to do a hand salute that is reminiscent of other people in history, just with a closed fist instead of an open one. They are a fascist enterprise, and they're calling the other side fascist without any evidence. They don't understand what the political movement of fascism actually is, and they're accusing the Republicans of being fascist because they know it's a bad word, and they're wrong. They don't understand where we are right now. They think any bit of control via government is a fascist. And basically what's happening now is they're lying and talking out of their asses, and they've been forced to backpedal because Nancy Pelosi only yesterday decided to hesitantly say, we disavow the riots. Yeah, she barely came out and said that she doesn't want to have riots and burning things in the streets anymore yesterday. It took her that long. Okay. So I will blame the Democrats for not condemning this soon enough. Everybody should have been on this on day one. When George Floyd died, everybody from every political aisle said, this is wrong. Something's happening here. And I know footage was released afterwards. We can talk about that later. But everyone said something happened here that we can all condemn. And for some reason, one of the political parties in this country were not able to condemn the riots when they should have. Instead, what they did was they doubled down on their bullshit. He's a fascist, because once again, they're manipulating younger people into being the pawns to go throw Molotovs at cops and hurt people, and then they get arrested for it. No one suffers the consequences in Washington. The people that suffer the consequences will be the young idiots getting arrested, and it's wrong. They're misguided and stupid. I'm pissed.
Right. Okay. So,
sorry.
Let's go ahead. So, you want to start it off? You want to start off the freeform, Cats?
Yes, thank you. I think that's very well said, Trip. But I can actually tell you what I think the reason why the Democrats won't call it out. It's because the Democrats are terrified of angering the black voting bloc. There is a very racist, low expectation view, I think, that the Democrats have of the black community, which is that if they say that there are any bad black people, any criminals that may meet unfortunate ends, that they will alienate one of their most important demographics. So we get people like George Floyd, or insert Black Lives Matter martyr here, who are almost always criminals, drug addicts, rapists, terrible people that met unfortunate ends because of the lives they live. But the Democrats won't say anything bad about them because they're afraid that if they do, that people will think that the Democrats are not being supportive enough, which is to say, falling into their normal history of just taking black people for granted and expecting them to vote for them no matter what.
No, so if you actually poll the black community, if you actually poll the black community, the majority of them support police. Most of them, the majority of people think that like the criminals should be charged and everything. I mean, we look at these martyrs that you're talking about. They're like the criminal past has nothing to do with the situation. Like Eric Garland didn't get murdered because he served time and was committed for another crime. It was the whole point of what happened in that situation. That if you can't like separate these things, then you'll never ever have anybody a situation. You can always like cast doubt on any kind of movement. And the whole point of the protest wasn't the fact that he was a criminal. The point of the protest was that he was treated like a dog in the streets. Like that was the point. Like it doesn't matter what his past is. Like I don't understand how you're not able to separate.
We can all agree on that, but making martyrs out of terrible people who are actually in the wrong when it's a police justified shooting is the wrong move. It's dishonest. You should not be parading around with someone's name on the back of your shirt saying that they're a martyr for this movement. When
are you talking about Floyd right now?
No, I think he's talking about Jacob Blake.
And Rayshard Brooks and basically what I'm saying is, Katz, you brought up a point of they don't want to alienate the black vote by saying anything wrong about someone who happens to look a certain way. And yes, it is racist, but it's worse than that. They're going down the alley of critical race theory to try to gather up these leftist votes from these radical communists because they think it's going to help them, and they're wrong. Because guess who gets the axe?
That in any kind of way?
Guess who gets the axe first? And every single time when radical communists come up and they take over, guess who gets the axe first? The establishment liberals. Every time.
Oh, what was the other time? Wait, what was the other time?
Hold on, Grimace. Hold on.
That was fire.
I mean, I just wanted. He just said every time this happens. I just want an example.
Russia, Germany. That's enough.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, as soon as you mention Russia, you got him on your team.
I don't know how to deal with that. Okay, I'm talking about American politics here.
As soon as you mention Russia, you got him. You want him.
They will.
Oh God, great point. Great point.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
But it's true. It's true. We're talking about radical communists here. Who are we talking about?
Wait, hold on. But when radical.
Wait, hold on, Archer.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, I was in the middle of this. You can laugh all you want, Grimace. But
it's not a good argument to laugh.
80, right? It's not.
We're talking about the political system of America.
We're talking about radical communists trying to burn down the system.
It's not analogous to the situation we're talking about.
It's exactly analogous.
You have militant communists who want to overthrow the government. Do you understand?
They're executing cops in the streets for their
communists want to. The whole goal of communists is to overthrow the United States government to institute a fucking LARPing leftist revolution.
Hold on.
In order to do that, you need to tear America down from its foundation. And
yes, I agree with that. But these are. What does this have to do with anything? What point are you making?
Grimace. Here's the point. 82%. This is the aggregate of all polls across the United States of black communities want more policing.
He already said that. Grimace already said that.
I know that. As you said, and if you're talking about these rioters and all of this as if the black community wants this. The only people that want these absurd policies and burning down black communities are white neocon liberals in their universities. But something that Tripp said.
Wait, where did that come from? What? Would you white neocon liberals the only people who want rioters?
The whole defund the police. Yes,
they're the communists. Wait a minute. No, I have to say
the communists.
Yeah,
that's who is the cop.
It's such an amorphous target.
Wait. Hold on. I don't want us. Hold on, Jupiter. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm gonna talk to Grimace on this. I'm gonna ask him because he's on that side. There's a difference between a liberal, a neo-lib, or a commie, ANCAP. I mean, there's so many. You guys got so many fucking
I'm here
titles,
to defend liberals and the Democratic Party. Yeah.
And sock dems too, right? Are the sock dems closer to communism than they are classical?
When
liberal?
does Grimace get cut?
No, it's like the divider is the economic system. As soon as you no longer accept capitalism, then you've gone over.
Jupiter, I've learned so much by being on Twitch. It's so different here, man. It's not like I used to think the left included all of them. Listen, tankies don't think they're freaking commies, or excuse me, they're different. That people rather be called tankies than a freaking commie, and then
Grimace,
Marxists don't want to be
is
called
no-
commies, and it's like there's so many fucking titles of these people. It's like, ugh.
It's gross.
It's
Grimace
crazy.
is no tanky. No, Grimace
I
is
didn't say he was
No,
a
no,
tanky.
no.
No.
Listen,
No,
the
what
only
I'm
time I
saying
get
is
to
that-
talk to conservatives here, the rest of my time I'm arguing with like
No,
communists
what
and
I'm
all these
saying
like
is that
crazy
there
people.
are so
Good.
many titles to these people on the left of us.
Believe me, I know, and I don't hold Grimace in any of those regards. I know what Grimace is.
Well, you can see my frustration. Like every time I deal with a conservative, they're arguing against the people that I've expelled from my party. That like
I
the
get it.
Democratic Party have decided that these ideas are not a part of our platform, but yet
don't take
I
it
still
so
have to deal.
personally. Don't take it so
No.
personally. I don't. We can
No,
disagree.
no, I'm
with
worried
people.
about you.
No,
I'm worried about you because
you're straw manning our argument.
you're
Okay,
wait,
Kat,
straw manning
because-
our entire argument.
because you're justifying like these Machiavellian takes on like we're at war, there's wolves among us. It's
That's
impossible
what
to be
we're
honest
up
in
against,
politics.
Grimace.
It is impossible to be honest in
Cat's
politics,
got
and you're
his hand
using
up.
this
Grimace, be
justification
fair.
by
That's what
pointing
we're
to
up
like
against.
Antifa and like all these other extreme groups when there's literally somebody. We can have a great example of it is Obama, a moderate Democrat in office. His like last act as like a token of like
To them, he
unity
is a conservative.
was to nominate a moderate Supreme Court justice for the Republicans to engage in good faith, and they didn't.
Okay,
Grimace, you
Kat,
straw man,
Hold on,
you literally straw manned our point.
I want to.
You straw man.
Maybe I missed it. Okay,
Hold on,
what
let
was
me
the point
get,
that I
let me
missed?
get
Let Katz
Cats.
handle it.
Let me get Cats, and then Archer can go ahead and address it. Go ahead, Cats.
So one that I have to do the teaching, raising my hand like I'm back in grade school. Like I'll get a better microphone. I just think it's important to point out, to Grimace's point, how the left is a very politically complex side that often gets, by our side, gets, shorthanded into this one amorphous, like, face. Like, I do believe, though, that it's worth mentioning that the left is just as guilty about putting all positions that are not left into the same right-wing demon face. But there's a lot of complexity which people on both sides could definitely address and have nice, nuanced conversations if they would stop flinging fecal matter at each other. That was my point.
Okay, Archer, and then Grimace.
Okay, so the straw man is that we're like, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that we're saying that you are a communist or communist-like.
No, I
Okay.
didn't say that at all.
Okay.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay, Jupiter, and then Rafiq.
Well, I'll say this about Grimace. Grimace and I, the first time I ever came into contact with Grimace, we were in Archer and Rafiq were there for this. We were in a much more heated debate than this, like a pretty hateful, angry debate than this. And when it all came down to it, Grimace and I happened to be the only people in the chat room afterwards, or in the pool afterwards. And we basically did the digital shake hands. Good game. You're a good guy. Pleasure doing business with you. Grimace isn't that type of guy, but I do understand your point, Grimace. I get it. There is a very big faction, whether you want to admit this or not, of your party that you're fighting for that is taking over your party. And that fight can't be undermined. You can't downplay that. We all see it. And I get that that's not your voter base. I do get that. And I'll give you that credit. And you are on the front lines of being like not associated with those freaks. I
Okay,
get it.
sure, but like no, if you're going to give further credit, the entire Democratic Party just did that by nominating
No.
Joe
But
Biden,
they
right?
don't- No, that's
No.
not fair. No.
Seattle.
no, I
wait,
won't give you that.
how do you explain the Seattle mayor calling a plot of
Oh
land
yeah, no, I
that
would
has
love
seceded
to
from the
talk
United
about this
States of
actually.
America?
Sure,
CHAZ
Lori
had
Lightfoot.
seceded
Lori Lightfoot.
from the
Sure.
union. From the
Sure,
union.
sure. So what happened after George Floyd happened? There were protests in Seattle. It was raining the first couple of days. I was here for all of that. The Seattle PD responded with an escalation of force against the protesters. And I don't know if you know about Seattle, like homeless guys, they got nothing to lose. They're fucking worthless, like government, like leeches in cities like this. And they responded in turn by escalating more. They actually took over the police precinct, and that was all because they just weren't given the opportunity to protest by the government. Yeah,
Whoa.
because
I
we
can't
can look it
all
up.
back.
The
I can
initial
take it all
response,
back.
the initial
Take it
response.
all
Listen. The initial response from the Seattle PD was excessive, and it escalated the violence, and that was the problem that we were having in Seattle at the time. Listen, I live here. I know exactly what happened. This is not justifying what they did. It's not justifying their response. It's not justifying the establishment of CHAZ. I'm just letting you know the situation, what happened.
Then why are you
and then,
defending them?
Okay, I'm
Are you
not
defending
defending them. I'm giving you an understanding of
They're
why the
firebombing federal buildings.
Sure,
There's no
exactly.
excuse for that.
No,
I
you're
don't
right.
care
You're
what
right.
the
You're right,
escalation
because
is.
you
Come
don't
on.
understand that there's not only one solution to this, and that's just to like arrest all of them and like bear
All right,
arms against them.
riots are
So
another
like
But a solution is not to
please let me
barricade people
finish. Can I
inside the
please-
building
can
and
you
then try
please
to
let
burn
me
it down.
finish?
Okay.
Okay, so the whole point of her saying that is that this initial problem happened when the government, when the police enacted violence and escalated the situation, and the mayor didn't want to keep doing that because she felt like it would get her city would go further and further into chaos. So instead, she backed off. She let the fire die down, and her entire approach to this situation was to let it die down and die out, and then they could move in during another time. That's why she downplayed it the way she did, and that was good governance on her part to not continually go up this ladder of violence. And I don't know why you guys don't get that.
with them.
Did you say that was
Absolutely
good
not.
governance?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was possibly a good. She tried. It was a good idea. It didn't work. And when
Absolutely
you were
not.
on the side of the people who barricade cops and inside a building and try to
what
burn
didn't
it
work?
down.
Wait, what didn't work about it? It
What do you
eventually
mean what
died
didn't work
down.
about it? How many
The
people
whole
died?
burning buildings and
You
How many people
did.
think? Was it one
Why-
person who died? How many people do you think would die if they brought more force on them? Like,
Okay, so the
It was one
rioters
person
were
who
bringing
died.
the riot. So anytime anyone riots, right? At any time riots happen, and they say, "All right, we are seceding for the union. This is a new CHAZ. This is a new CHAZ." Our reaction is just going to be, "Oh, summer of love." Yeah, they're just doing
so
fucking
maybe you
acids
didn't
and chilling out.
understand-
Hey, there's
maybe
a
you
guy
didn't
out
understand
front.
what I
There's
just
a guy
said.
out. There's. Let me finish.
She
We all let
was
you fuck- We all let
de-escalating.
you finish, buddy. We all let you finish,
You've
buddy.
talked
Wow.
40 times more than Archer.
You're gonna call it.
Sure.
You're gonna call it a summer of fucking love, while there's multiple people stalking fucking members of the press with firearms.
Wait, what does that have to do with
Making
anything?
orders
What
around.
does that have to do
Let
with
him
Chaz?
finish,
Let
Grimace.
him finish.
I want him to
Because
just
that
finish
was
on the
all
point I made
happening.
instead of going on
Let
a
him
tangent.
That was
finish.
all
Arthur.
happening at CHAZ, and your response, and you're saying this is good governance, is to downplay it and to say, "Oh, it's just a summer of love." No, you know what their fucking response is? Is send the National Guard in there and say, "All right, you've all seceded from the union. You are all now charged with treason. You get the fuck out now, or you're being charged." That would have been a
Fascist
good
shit.
governance.
Okay,
move.
those people are.
Hold on. That's fascist shit. Tell me specifically how that's fascist.
That's using the government to paint your fellow citizens as the enemy
No,
and bringing
no,
military
no,
force
no,
against them
no,
in
no,
justification.
Oh,
Listen,
okay. So the
This is what I was
Confederacy,
just talking about.
So the Confederacy should have just been left to its own, right? Are you going to
No.
make that argument? Oh, why aren't they? Why isn't the
Archer.
union fascist? Why is not
Archer.
the union fascist under that
Archer,
example?
didn't they
Wait,
declare
no.
themselves as the enemy of the state?
No, listen. No, actually,
Yes,
the
they did.
Confederacy is a great example. The Confederacy is a great example because
After
at the
Grimace,
beginning of
hold on
the
a second,
war,
Grimace, after you, I gotta get Katz in here because he's been
Sure.
patiently waiting. So
Sure.
after
So-
Grimace, gonna get
right.
Katz.
so like when the Confederacy like seceded initially, right? The newly elected president Abraham Lincoln wanted to preserve the
Republican.
Union. Yes, he was a Republican operating underneath
okay,
a strong federal government.
we're
Yes, you're
trying
right.
to preserve the union.
who
We're trying to
didn't-
preserve the union by sending in the National Guard, and that's fascist.
Okay, Katz,
thank
okay.
Katz.
You
Oh,
obviously
no,
don't
wait,
know
no, he did. I didn't even say anything.
Okay, Archer, stop interrupting him so he can finish. So I can
So-
get Katz in here.
He
had a
engaged
response,
it in a way.
No,
He did
let
it.
him say it.
he
You can
did-
respond
lunch.
after. You can respond
You
after.
So-
Katz.
Come on, look,
No, this is a
Katz.
great example. No, because like this is a great example. He initially, the entire union engaged us in a way that, hey, like these Confederates, they've lost their fucking mind. I don't know what the problem is. It was just an election, right? And then all we did at first was show power, show our giant numbers. We showed the fact that we're here, we're waiting. We actually proposed the Corwin Amendment to help placate them, to keep them into the union. But instead of accepting it, instead of letting it de-escalate, they established a new country, declared Negroes inferior, and then that's when we're like, at this point we have to go. But like that's the situation. If the de-escalation didn't work, then of course you do the next thing, right? Like if CHAZ started expanding, then you go in there and you bring a sword. But if you can de-escalate the situation, that's what you should be going
Again,
for in the first place.
No,
That's
no,
that's the
Katz
point I'm
is
trying to
next.
make.
No, Katz is
Can
next.
Cat speak, Grimace?
No, Archer was interrupted. Go
I
ahead,
already made a
Katz.
stupid claim. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Katz.
I actually kind of have a question for Grimace. So I didn't know you lived in Seattle. Maybe I'd heard that before, but so you live in Seattle, you said?
Yep.
Okay. Would you say that the fact that Jenny Durkin, that is her name, right?
I have no idea. I'm a transplant. I don't pay that much attention to the actual name.
Okay,
of these people.
I believe her name is Jenny Durkin. But would you say that the fact that she was very pro-CHAZ, very pro-protest, basically until they showed up at her front door, would you say that that kind of undermines the good governance argument that she was basically okay with it as long as it was happening some 5-6 miles away from her house? But
Wait, CHAZ expanded to her house?
No, they didn't, but there was a protest in front of her house, and then when that happened, basically the day afterwards...
Sorry, I'm talking about CHAZ.
It's the same people. Wait, it was the same organizer.
Yeah, but
Same organizer.
Yeah, no, but we're talking about the solution to CHAZ, not protesters here.
There's no solution to CHAZ.
I just put on display the solution to CHAZ. I don't know what we're talking about. These protesters at the mayor's door.
Well, what we're talking about is the fact that Jenny Durkin was okay with the CHAZ, doing whatever, barricading businesses, setting up illegal checkpoints, doing whatever.
De-escalating the situation, right?
Yeah. Until they showed up in front of her house and said that she had to go. And then that was when she actually allowed the federal forces to come in and say, like, okay, yeah, deal with these people. It's kind of the same thing with Ted Wheeler. Like,
Sorry, no, what exactly happened? She called in the federal forces to come take the protesters out in front of her door?
She finally authorized the police one way or another, because at this point the separation is rather permanent.
Yeah, they're threatening her person. Yeah. But what does that have to do with CHAZ? Sorry, so like, how is CHAZ solved? Our cat's gay.
Well, what I'm asking you is, do you think that it is kind of calls into question her good governance argument? If she was perfectly okay with them doing whatever downtown, but once they came to her house, well, then she was okay calling the police in, and then the CHAZ.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the police are there for. If she felt
Grimace,
physically threatened, obviously.
That question. No, that's.
I just answered it.
That's a diversion.
I'm talking about if we're talking about the solution to CHAZ. Her idea of letting the people burn out in a fiery situation over the escalation of police force was a good decision. That's what happened.
Archer
Someone died.
Cat's gay.
Okay.
My solution is nukes. But once CHAZ was totally dismantled, they went to Durkin's house yet again. That's when she called in 42,000 with a A-N-D, thousand.
Okay. Sorry. You guys don't understand this. No.
Wait, hold on. Security to not only block her house.
I see where you guys are failing.
Houses down, but of course.
Sure. I understand now.
Tree, are you going to cut me off after we talk that long?
Okay, go ahead. But I actually can see the frustration here. I'm looking at both of you guys talking past each other, and I'm trying to bring it back to where you guys can understand where each other's coming from. Because I don't think you guys are, and I'm not playing favoritism here. I can see the talking past each other. I see what Grimace is asking, but I see what you're answering is going way past each other. But go ahead and answer it. Go ahead and finish, Jupiter.
After she was professing the summer of love and how great it was, and then all of her citizens were like, can someone please help us? We're literally being held hostage. At that same exact time, and afterwards, after it was dismantled, the leaders, this is how communism works, the leaders of it all, and this is what the Democrat Party is becoming. Not on my house, not on my street, not on my block. I'm going to use taxpayer dollars, the same taxpayers that are trapped in this 8-block radius that is burning and filled with garbage and murder. This same woman who is allowing this to happen is not allowing it on her block. That's why CHAZ, that's why it's all bullshit. And if you really want to say that's okay, then fuck it.
Yes,
Fine.
yeah, you didn't hear what I said. Yeah, I know you'd have like a response to it. So like,
so let me.
Okay, can I respond to? Sorry, go ahead, Trey.
Okay, from my understanding, you're asking Grimace, what is the solution to CHAZ?
Sure.
No, I'm asking Grimace.
Oh yeah, like the solution.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when I heard him say that, I heard you guys give a solution. You're using an example of the house, which is fine, but this is a really easy answer. I wouldn't go Archer. I wouldn't go Archer route, even though Archer answered it. I wouldn't go Archer's route, but there is an easy answer to how you solve that solution. So go ahead and answer it again. Ask it again, Grimace, because that's what I'm saying. I think that I heard you say this, but I didn't hear the answer to it except through Archer with the National Guard.
Oh no, sure. So like CHAZ, the problem of CHAZ was solved. The mayor's approach did work, but Jupiter, to your point, like that's just the first. You have to make an effort to de-escalate first. I think that's good governance. And if that doesn't work, you need to take further measures. But it's not a false dichotomy. Just because you want to de-escalate initially doesn't mean that you can only de-escalate from now, and you can change with new information, right? That's what good governance is about. Her attempt in the beginning was to let the fire die down because this all arose from the fact that the Seattle PD used unreasonable amount of force against the protesters, and that caused a reaction from the protesters to escalate it even more. And the mayor didn't want to continue the escalation. That's why she tried to de-escalate, and it worked.
No, it did not work. I can't let you get away with that. It did not work. It did not work. It did not work.
4 shootings that happened at CHAZ. It could have all been ended.
Yeah,
that's fine, but you have to weigh that against. You have to weigh that against the alternative. Okay. If they came in,
the alternative is nobody dies.
Come in like Navy SEALs and just like wrap everybody up and take them off to your fucking gulags. No, people have weapons. People have all kinds of shit.
I don't want to hear from you anymore. And you're fucking bitching when you're like, oh, why do people want me here with fucking communists? When you fucking called me a fucking fascist earlier, and now you say we're bringing fucking people to gulags. You're so fucking dishonest. So fucking dishonest.
No, okay? I'm saying this is an authoritarian approach. Do you understand?
It's not absolutely
authoritarian.
What is the definition?
Why are you so insecure? Why are you unable to deal with the substance of what I'm saying? That you just get triggered like a little snowflake because
tell me right now what the definition of authoritarian is.
Okay, hold on, Archer.
You don't know it. You don't know it because you put it incorrectly.
Wait, no. Listen, I can easily
Archer, no, you can't do that, Archer. You can't do that, Archer. He's not answering because I'm talking.
He doesn't know what authoritarian means.
Archer, no, he's not talking because I'm talking. So no, that's not fair. That's not a got you on Grimace. Okay, let's do some clarifying here. Okay, give me your definition of successful, Grimace. Who am I speaking to?
Eventually the fires, the embers died down enough that we can move in and take back that area after the heat of the moment had.
Are people dying successful?
The dyings and the rapes?
Sure, no. You have to weigh it against what the alternative was. That would have been fucking war if they brought in more troops and more violence. Like, yeah.
But the crimes, the rapes were justified. Well, unintentional donations.
Oh God, are you guys? Why can't you understand what would have how can you not empathize with the decision she had to make? Do I escalate this? Do I bring in more force? Because force just seems to lead to more force and violence. Or do I let
you saying more people would have died? I said, are you Grimace?
100 days
are you saying that more people would have been hurt and killed? Would more people have been killed if it had been quelled earlier?
That's what was weighed. That was what was weighed when she tried to de-escalate.
What do you think would have happened is what I'm saying. What do you think would happen if they decided, I will take the help of the National Guard?
Well, what happened there probably would have been a pretty big like firefight. We instead of like taking over the precinct before, it would probably like.
You don't think they would have
evolve
gotten
into
their
something else.
asses handed to them? And
Yeah, absolutely, they would have. That's fine.
Then rioters,
but lefties would have been killed.
You guys can't stand up to those
Rioters
federal
in that
agents. You fucking hippies. Yeah, I agree with you.
Anyone
They
who
would've
wanted
gotten
to
their
fight
asses
against there and join in that firefight would have died, and innocent people would have not have died. That would have been the
Innocent
fucking
people-
difference.
Okay, well, I don't know if you understand.
Some innocent people
where
may have
CHAZ
died,
was. It
but
was in the middle
If you
of the
wanna,
city.
if you wanna
Less.
fucking LARP a revolution and you wanna get into a fucking firefight, hey, you're a dumb fucking ass. And you know what? Hey, that's your fucking choice.
Sure.
But
That-
when you start
okay.
mixing
So
So
innocent
you would be
fucking
putting
people in
federal agents in danger. You would be putting the citizens who lived in that area in danger.
divert,
You would-
Please,
pivot,
enough of
pivot,
this. Oh,
pivot.
Please.
Wait, what's the
Please.
pivot?
Here's the thing. Here's the pivot. You want to know what the real pivot is? Your whole thing about the fact that the Portland PD escalated this bullshit. If you
Seattle.
came to my town, or Seattle PD rather, if you came to my town and tried to do that, we wouldn't escalate the situation to the point where we took over 8 city blocks and tried to continue our nasty little rape village and murder village. No, the real problem is the lack of leadership because the Democrat Party is held hostage by these Antifa, communist, anarchist psychopaths. And Seattle proved it. Portland proved it. Ted Wheeler proved it. Ted Wheeler is the most liberal person on earth.
What are we
and
talking
they
about now?
burned his
Not
gaunt-
liberal.
It's the
He's a
riots.
leftist.
No,
He's a
leftist.
leftist sympathizer.
Sorry. So
Trip,
you.
hold on. Last thing, and I'll shut the fuck up. But Trip, you're right, leftist. Ted Wheeler is a leftist, far left progressive, and they still cucked him and burned his apartment building down. Now he has to move. There is no stopping these people, and the Democrat Party has to capitulate because they're scared to death of the scenes of rubber bullets flying. But the fact of the matter is, the only way you put down these people is how we do it in PA. In Lancaster, we said $1 million bail, and we beat the brakes off of them. And they didn't riot that much. And that's...
Sure. We have Grau Got in chat right now just because he is an anarcho-communist who I'm arguing with all the time. And I made this point that every time I get on these political discussions, I'm trying to advocate for like the moderate left point. And then I'm just having to argue
don't defend
that
the
I'm just
far
having to
left.
argue about. I'm not. I haven't done that. I haven't done that at all.
About it, dude. Stop bitching
Okay.
about it. You just called me a fucking fascist. You have no
Bingo.
fucking right
Listen,
to say
you
shit.
are.
And you come in
You're
so fucking
fragile.
you come in so dishonest. Look at that right there. You're so fucking dishonest.
Because you
You're
didn't
so
understand the
dishonest.
substance of
You're-
what I was saying. You just heard the word gulag
No, see, right there,
and thought
right
you
there,
don't have an
right
emotional
there,
breakdown on
right
street
there.
in
You
front of
called him a
everybody.
You call
fascist
people
as if
fucking
that
stupid.
doesn't
You're
mean
so.
nothing.
And listen,
Prove my
if
point.
I would be amazed if you have a fucking spouse, dude. I would be
If
fucking
you want to check the
amazed.
tape, I
Okay,
didn't actually
I-
call
I
him
wanna-
bless
fascist.
that.
I wanna
I
ask-
said one of his techniques in the handling the situation was
Okay,
fascistic.
I wanna
I'm
ask
sure
Rafiq.
people in chat can tell the difference.
I wanna ask.
Yeah,
you-
I know what you're trying to do, bitch.
Stop. I
Dude,
wanna.
Thank you for highlighting my win here, Archer. I appreciate it.
Archer.
That ain't a win.
Yeah, that's not a win.
That ain't a
That's
win.
not a win.
No, when your opponent just says like bitch in the microphone.
I mean, no, that was
Your
inappropriate.
opponent says
No,
fascist in the microphone.
Grimace, that was inappropriate. Okay, not on you, but Archer, that was no. We do not. We do not condone that. But the thing about it is, I want to get back
He's
to
not a
Rafiq.
bitch.
I want
Calling
to
good
get to
fun.
Rafiq, and then this in this order: Rafiq, then Katz, then Trip, and then everybody else can jump in. So Rafiq, we heard Grimace's definition of and you was making some good points of success. What do you think would have been your version of success when it comes to how to handle that CHAZ slap chop incident?
Well, I want to add that as far as to that Confederate Civil War reference, that the North didn't have high view of the Black Sea. There wasn't just the South that just said that Negroes were inferior. The North felt the same way, just felt that we shouldn't be enslaved, that they shouldn't be enslaved. As far as how to handle CHAZ chop force, these rioters are very privileged, spoiled brat white youth that never got the spanking from their mom and dad. So they need to get the spanking from the police. Period.
Except they didn't, right? They didn't. They actually got their asses handed to them.
But
They
spanked
gave
them
up
who
the
were
whole
innocent
precinct
along
to
the
the
way.
protesters. I don't know if you're like if you're not paying
That
attention to
was
this.
stupid to give up the whole precinct. That was just the
What do you mean
dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Stupid. They didn't have a choice. They didn't make the choice. It was taken from them by a bunch of fucking anarchists.
Because nobody helped them against a bunch of radical communists.
Wait,
nobody
like
came
who?
to help
Who?
because their politicians didn't
Who didn't
say
come to
yes,
help?
we'll take your help. The
Hold on,
National
hold on,
Guard.
hold on. I gotta
The
defend the
National
police.
Guard, you want to mobilize on a single day?
Hold on.
No.
This is like this occurred over like an hour-long period. What are you talking about?
Grimace. The police did not let them take the precinct. They was told to stand down. Please understand, the police ain't gonna let you do shit unless the people who tell them what to do and give them their paycheck tell them to stand down. Remember, one of the biggest complaints that I hear from Democrats is that the police are too militarized, and we know what type of weapons they have. So they didn't let you. They just gave it up. So that is the truth. They gave up that.
No, because to continue. And to prevent this from happening, you would have had to open fire on a bunch of protesters. Absolutely. That's why they were told to bring it down.
Non-lethal bullets. Durkin demanded that the Seattle police vacate both precincts, not the one, but both. And that is just
and
such
you
cowardice.
think
They
why?
didn't have to do that.
Wait, and you think why?
Do that.
But why?
To let the LARPers LARP, they'll get over it. That's
No,
literally what
no.
you said. It's
It
the
was
summer
to
of
placate.
love.
It was to placate to Black Lives Matter and Antifa because
Bingo.
she wants them on her side so they won't come to her front door. That is exactly why she.
Do you
did
guys
it.
see the narrative being spun here?
Anyway.
You can't substantiate that at all. These are just things you're saying.
What?
They have marched to politicians' houses. They have graffitied their houses. They have defaced churches in the suburbs and burned them
What
down.
does that have
Are
to
you
do with
kidding?
anything?
What I'm saying is the politicians will sell you out even if you vote for them because guess what? They want to stay safe in their pretty little houses.
I'm sorry. Oh,
And then
God.
Lisa Murkowski, Lisa Murkowski, Republican. The reason that we haven't replaced
Sorry, guys.
and Tree, finally I'm back on target for RGB, except I'm not.
It's no longer the topic. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. This is my point. Lisa Murkowski, exactly what Tripp's saying. Lisa Murkowski is a Republican. Yet the reason RBG isn't being replaced is because in her district, she needs to placate her voters. What Durkin thought was the apt move was placating the fucking anarchists, and that's a fact. She let them do all this.
Yeah, and these people don't vote. I don't know why you think. I don't know why you think that they're placating them.
But if they do vote, they vote Democrat. That's the problem.
But they don't vote.
Most of them, no. He's telling the truth. Most of them don't. Guys, most of them don't vote.
Wait.
No,
Sorry, are we
seriously,
going to go
most
down
of
this
them
path?
don't
Where
vote.
do
Who
they get
said
their
that?
funding?
Me.
Blue.
I said that.
No,
Thank you.
Hold on. The reason why, here's proof that most of these commies don't vote. Bernie lost.
Yeah, thank you.
I voted for Bernie, but I was a leftist back then.
Okay.
I was Nolan up too.
Okay, sorry. So these anarchist groups their violence is funding by Act Blue. Is that the claim being made?
No, they are.
How
bail funds are.
the protesters came to his neighborhood. Would he just welcome them with open arms, or just wait for them to just fizzle out?
Whose neighborhood?
I can't.
Grandma's
follow this.
neighborhood.
Wait, you guys know
They're
I
in his
have a gun
neighborhood.
and I will
He told you they were in his neighborhood.
Oh, you have.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Right, but you know what, Grimace, you've been defending some pretty nasty shit.
We got
I
10 more
actually
minutes
But
on the subject.
he did condemn the riots, though. But he did condemn the riots.
Do you condemn Antifa?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, come
Good.
on, y'all. Don't be too
Homeboy right there.
What are you talking about?
All right.
Will you hold on? Will you condemn?
I'm saying you should. The only point I'm trying to make is that you're trying to make this you're trying to go forward with this narrative that she just wanted to appease these people because she wants them to vote for him, and when she just wanted to de-escalate the situation, which she
wanted both.
Not vote.
She wanted both of those.
Okay,
Okay, well,
go ahead.
if
I'm
you
sorry,
can
Cass, I
agree
forgot to
with
call
me,
you back when
I'll agree with you.
If
but
you
she
can agree
also
with me
won't-
that she was trying to de-escalate the situation, that's good enough for me. Okay,
So they
the
wouldn't
Civil War was
chop
about
off-
slavery, but I guess
She's
it
the
was
one who's
also
going to
about
get the
states' rights.
guillotine. She's the one who gets the guillotine. That's why she was afraid. They don't want to lose power. It goes back to Archer's point of the power moves, man. It was a power move and it
Grimace, I
backfired.
don't think nobody's disagreeing with you on the fact that she was trying to de-escalate it. I think her method
I totally
was
agree
just-
on that.
Yeah, her method
But
was
she was
just
also
wrong.
looking out for number one.
Cats, go ahead, Cats.
Dirty.
Go ahead, Cats.
As far as the CHAZ in Seattle goes, you know, we can argue about labels, whether they were Antifa, Black Lives Matter, whether they were Democrats, whether they were leftists, liberals, whether they were anarchists. Like, it doesn't really matter. Seattle fell apart on that day. And the top city official, the one that actually had the power to end the situation at any time, said no. Because she, well, honestly, who knows why she did? Did she say no to because like she thought that it would be
when you say end it, what could she have done?
Can you? Yeah, really. Shut the fuck up. Sorry. But
No, this is the freeform round. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna let you say they
just-
could have
just
ended
shut
it,
the-
but like not provide any more details. Like that's
Right,
pretty
but
important to
this
the
is
entire
what you
discussion
do.
happening.
Okay,
This
go
is
ahead.
what
Go
you
ahead,
do.
wait.
Cats. Go ahead.
His
Cats.
mic is trash.
This is
Let him.
essential
let
to
him
the
go.
conversation we're having.
Go ahead,
Let him
Cats.
His
speak.
mic is
He
trash.
doesn't
Let him
have a
just
mic
finish.
like we do. Let him speak.
What I'm saying is whether she thought that it was because like she couldn't stop them, whether she felt that she had to de-escalate, the fact of the matter is the top official in Seattle lost control of the situation, and then she consistently refused to have a higher authority come in and settle the situation. Whether that was because of optics, whether it's because she wanted to be reelected, who knows? And honestly, who the fuck cares? But it is interesting that at the moment that she felt personally threatened, that's when she allowed the situation to be dealt with. These kind of people, whether it be Jenny Durkin, whether it be Ted Wheeler, whether it be Lori Lightfoot, they don't actually care about the damage that is done to their communities. They only care about whether it personally inconveniences them. And at that point, then they'll bring a hammer
Hold on,
down.
Grimace.
Cats,
Hold on.
I'm done.
Yes,
Are you
that
finished?
is
Okay,
true.
No,
go ahead.
I want to engage with Cats. Like
Okay,
like
go
you
ahead,
just
go
said
ahead.
so many things. Okay, so Cats, like, are you saying that in her effort to de-escalate the situation with CHAZ, that makes her that it would be her being a hypocrite for like not calling the police to help her defend her property against protesters? Are you telling me these two things have to go together?
No,
that
what I'm
the
saying-
protesters and the rioters like should have been okay to do whatever the hell they wanted
What I'm saying
to
is
her and her person.
No. What I'm saying is she's a hypocrite for not having used the authority that she had and the resources that were available to deal with the situation before it spilled over into other neighborhoods. She chose to ignore the situation because it was politically advantageous, or she maybe who knows why she chose not to confront the situation.
Okay,
But when
so
the
so you don't think it was about de-escalation? So you
No.
don't agree with the other panelists who said that it was about de-escalation, at least partly?
Who said that?
I did. I said it was about that and other things.
Yeah.
I said that.
She was primarily concerned with optics. I think she was primarily concerned
Yes.
with being reelected, and also how it would make the Democrats look, and also
Sure.
the fact that she
Okay.
would refuse any help from Trump.
She
Sure,
also
Cats, no,
can't
this is-
control them. She can't control them. And if Trump had just said, well, you know what? Fuck it. We're sending them in anyway, even though you said not to. Guess what? Everybody would have been like, he's a fascist. And they would have had a point. He didn't do it because he's not a fascist. And everybody says he is fucking wrong.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, if she called Trump, she would be finished politically in Seattle forever. She had no choice to call the federal government.
100%
in.
agree.
Not even
But she
not even
was
a-
trying to
forgotten
avert a
things Cass
disaster,
was
but she
talking about.
fucked
Oh,
up.
you guys
She
are
was
talking-
trying to avert a disaster, but she messed up and she didn't do it the right way. She was more concerned with optics. Katz is completely
Sure.
correct.
Okay,
Agreed.
Cats. I want to ask you to substantiate that she was just concerned with optics and voting and all that.
Not
But-
just,
but instead of
mostly.
that, instead of that, can you tell me a situation where what she did would make you have the opposite effect? What if she actually was just completely concerned with de-escalating? What would that look like? What would the difference be with what actually happened?
Thinking that she was more concerned with her city and not just with optics, if she actually gave a concrete reason for why she wouldn't accept federal authority, not calling the feds, as opposed to just saying, I won't take governance from Trump, Saying that it's going to be a summer of love on CNN or that Portland has a history.
Sorry, that's not what I asked. That's a completely different question.
Wait, not calling in the feds is what he just said, and that's the fucking nail.
No. I'm saying like if she was trying to de-escalate, like that would not be escalating. Do you understand? I mean that wouldn't be de-escalating. That would be escalating.
De-escalation, not
okay.
her.
Maybe you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I asked Kat. What I asked Kat was that what would it look like?
Hypotheticals.
Sorry, what would it look like? No, because you guys don't have foundations for your arguments. You just have conspiracy theories, and that's what I'm trying to highlight. Like, what would it look like if the mayor was only concerned with de-escalating? What would the difference be?
Stop, Archer.
That's the question I'm trying to ask.
Stop. Go ahead, Grimace. Finish your question.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, what would it look like if she actually was just concerned with de-escalating CHAZ? Well, just tell me the difference with what happened and what.
Not letting it start.
I'm asking Kat.
I feel like if Jenny Durkins was actually concerned with de-escalation as opposed to political grandstanding, she would condemn the violence, say that the illegal checkpoints and that the weird, like, mafia-esque tactics that they were taking were wrong, and that she wanted to make it better and showed how she was planning to make it better. That would have been de-escalation, as opposed to just saying, like, they're doing their thing, nothing wrong happening there, nothing to see here.
So it's just like the method in which she de-escalated that was the problem, and like what you said, I don't think would actually be de-escalation. That would be antagonizing them additionally.
This mic doesn't pick up if you speak.
All a mayor is a procedural figure. Like, she doesn't have a lot of power outside of the city. All she can do is say, what are the police going to do? What is the city going to do? She didn't give any kind of organized resistance to the bad actions that they were having, and nor did she particularly condemn what they were doing. She kind of ignored what they were doing. She just treated like, well, it's normal for a city with millions of people, all of a sudden there's 8 blocks that just go completely rogue, and I have any control over them. It's not like I was elected to lead the city.
Okay.
But
he's not going to answer my question. You guys can keep going.
What?
Yeah, no, he just went back to the beginning of the conversation about CHAZ, about what happened, and then I had already.
Well, it doesn't matter. We about to do the. I'm bleeding into somebody's speaker. Okay. We're going to do We're going to do the final rounds, and then we're going to get to the fun part about the hypotheticals. So let's do our 2-minute closing arguments. And we'll start off with, let's go ahead and start off with Rafiq and go all the way around.
With me, wow.
Yeah.
I felt the goalpost has been moved a lot. As far as these riots, it's like America is in the midst of a Bolshevik revolution. They're domestic terrorists, and they should be treated as such. Period.
Okay. Grimace, we'll let you go second.
Oh, no. Again? I get to go second? Okay.
No, I picked you first last time.
Yeah, sure. So, this is closing arguments, right?
Yeah, closing.
Yeah. So what I was trying to ask Katz a second ago is like, what would if she meant to de-escalate when she said it was a summer of love and to not give it as much attention as she wanted to do? Like, what would that look like instead of saying that she was just intending to get political gain or yada yada yada? He just gave me a different way that he would have de-escalated, which would have been a little bit of escalation. I guess not as much, maybe. But as far as the riots go, yeah, riots are dumb. I want everybody, I guess conservative in chat, anybody who is still concerned with how they think instead of what they think, that like in the Democratic Party, we've gotten rid of these guys out of their party. Like we're about returning normalcy. We're about we have somebody like Joe Biden in as our nominee. We're about reaching back across the aisle and fixing America and all these these rules, these gentleman rules that have been exploited during the next administration. And that's what it's about for me, I guess. I don't know what to say about the riots. Like, yeah, they're shitty. You shouldn't do them. Just like everybody.
All right. Falix, your turn.
Oh, wow. Man, I don't like cutting into when you guys get into it because the conversation always goes into places that I was never expecting, and I was like, never thought of that. But in dealing with the riots, there's a certain level, like, I remember I asked somebody about this, is like, you can either be like super punishment heavy or super like mercy. I mean, you can't, there's no perfect way to solve it because someone's going to be pissed off at you regardless. I guess I'm not going to say that there's a best way, but I feel like it's right to at least acknowledge that what the mayor of Seattle did wasn't perfect and that maybe she should have thought it through more, but hey, I can't think for her. I'm not her, and I won't try to be her. She can think for herself. She doesn't need me to tell her what to do. But I think the riot, if we really want to stop this whole idea of riots and just like this whole political discourse becoming super violent, we have to on all sides condemn it. But I don't really know how we would go about that. But I think we should try to come together and be like, at least agree that, hey, maybe this isn't the best way to go about it.
Fair.
And that's it.
All right. Katz, your turn.
Looks like, we should aspire to a spirit of reconciliation, considering that we're about as fractured as we've ever been. I mean, as far as the thing about the riots is that, I'm always happy, sincerely happy, when people that I may disagree with about abstract political matters like Grimace will actually call out the excesses of that. I think that's the main reason why so many people on the right are so angry with the Democrats, is because they're so unlikely to do that. It's hard for us to just agree on certain common principles, which is that violence is bad, burning businesses is bad. Resorting to the streets as a form of justice is bad. I'm always happy when we can come together as far as common people, as people of words and intelligence, and say that, no, let's talk about these matters. Like, let's get on live streams and argue our issues, as opposed to throwing Molotov cocktails at each other. So I think that as long as there are people like us in this live stream that are willing to discuss a diverse
10 seconds.
series of issues, that we have some hope. But I have no hope for these people that only can think with Molotov cocktails.
All right. Trip, your turn.
Okay, so the politicians have been backing the wrong team. Basically, they are backing what are essentially religious extremists. They believe that silence is violence. Silence is consent. They believe that violence is not violence. They think that speech is violence when silence is violence, which doesn't really make any sense. And then when you burn down a building, it's just the diversity of tactics. I don't think anybody here is defending rioting in any case, but the party that has backed the wrong team happens to be the establishment Democrats. And I, for one, am not going to stand for that anymore. So I'm not saying I won't vote for Democrats in the future. What I'm saying is right now, they are the bad guys. And I never thought I would see the day where the Republicans were the liberal party, where they were anti-war, which is my number one issue. Anti-war, and then radical communists come out against that point. I've never, ever seen anything like this before. I remember when, like I said earlier, the Republicans, the devout religious Christians, were the ones who wanted to silence people. And guess who it is now? The ones who want speech codes, who want to repeal 209 in California, which is an Equal Rights Act. They want to actually be able to discriminate against people by law. That is not okay. That's racist. I never thought my party would be the one backing racists. And guess what? They are. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore. And it makes me think that we are at a crux right now where this is why people are actually flipping. This is why I think we're going to see a landslide for Trump. And if we don't see a landslide for Trump, it will be because somebody cheated. And we've already seen that already happening. And the gears are turning. And I see it going off the rails. And basically what I'm saying is they backed the wrong team, and they thought it would help them because they're violent. They are afraid. Okay, the establishment Democrats are afraid, and guess what? They're also wrong. The Republicans, and mostly like the new conservatives, like the Dan Crenshaws of the world, they are the liberal wing of our American politics today.
Yes, Lord. I hate Dan Crenshaw. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Shame.
Is it because he's too liberal for you?
Oh my God, yes,
He has an
I
R
hate him.
next to his name.
I hate him so much.
Oh, that's too bad. Him and Tulsi Gabbard should have a baby, and they should run for freaking president.
Oh my God, I hate him. Okay, Archer, your turn.
Yeah, I think making excuses for writers and for just turning a blind eye to the massive political contingency that is screwing in the. Sorry, I meant to say communists, writing communists. Make excuses for them calling what they're doing as a summer of love when it obviously wasn't. And you know what? Hey, listen. Even if that was was meant to de-escalate the situation, you know what it was? It was bad governance. Four people were shot in CHAZ. Multiple crimes were committed. Multiple property damages were committed. People who own property, their property was stolen from them. You had a secession from the union, and to placate that as just like a sever of love, just to de-escalate it, that's really shitty governance. All right, maliciously speaking, beside right, that's just shitty governance. Democrats making excuses for these individuals, like it's disgusting. It's gross. Yeah, you know, it may. I don't know if it's going to help Democrats or it's going to hurt them. Hopefully, it hurts them because you know that's all. I think there's a moral position to take there.
All right, Jupiter.
Yeah, I mean, God, I wish Trip, even Grimace and Phalix, I wish people could see this because this is what's happening. I came out of the womb a libertarian, yelling at my doctor about property and gun rights. That was like, you know, my family was banned from the pediatrician because I kept bringing my firearm at 3 years old. But the big thing with this is I will, as it relates to CHOP, I will always side with the tax-paying property owners and small business owners trapped inside of a place like CHOP. I'll always side with them. The people that are kidnapped by the mob. That will always be me. And if you're not de-escalating for them, if you're de-escalating for the mob, then you're against me. But what I was saying about like Trip and even Grimace and Phalix, people like that are even like center-left people are seeing this mob violence when you're scared that the country might be burning, your city might be burning next, your parents might be in trouble next, your girlfriend, your boyfriend might be in trouble next. That has an effect on people. And I'm just telling you, I am really, really grateful for this panel. And I think that as wide-ranging as our politics are, I think this is a pretty good pinpoint of where the American people are. And this is a pleasure. Loved it as always.
All right. So
wait.
This has been closing, right?
Wait, reparation for Rafiq? Super chats, as always.
Yeah, I'm gonna be reading the super chats after the panel, and of course I gave Rafiq your reparations last time, so I'll make sure.
Please flood them in.
So we had a poll. It says, "Will the riots hurt or help Biden?" And 82.1% stated that it will hurt him. So let's get into the fun round here, where I am going to go over some hypotheticals, and this is going to be addressed to everybody. Now, you can interject. You can basically this is just a fun round, right? We're just going to have fun with it. And so I thought of these on my own. Okay, I expect people to probably bite this and use this for themselves too on Twitch. They like to use everything else from me. But anyway, so here we go. You are the captain of your political team, and you know, like kickball. Everybody know how to. Has anybody ever been a captain of the team where you have a group of people you had to pick from the bunch your favorite or the best? Anybody ever done that before? Or okay, all right, I got it. So you are the
I
captain.
think you're a bunch of pussies. No.
You are the captain of your political kickball team. You have to pick all the good political. You have picked all the good political players already, and the only ones that are left are the bad and mediocre. You have to pick two of, and it's only 4 of them left. You have to pick 2 of the 4. All right. Now for Rafik and Archer, the 4 people that you have to pick 2 from, all right, are, and this is only for Rafik and Archer, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, AOC, or Chris Cuomo. Who are the 2 you would pick out of that group?
Chris Cuomo to get back at his brother and AOC. So for comedy relief, well, actually Joe Biden for comedy.
Archer?
Wait, can you get what you said? AOC, Joe Biden.
Nancy Pelosi, Chris Cuomo, AOC, and Joe Biden.
AOC's kind of fly.
Well, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, I'll probably take Nancy Pelosi because she's fucking she's a good politician. She's a Machiavellian, fellow Machiavellian. At
least she would know where she is.
I go AOC. I go AOC too. I go AOC.
So you pick 2 females.
Simp. Sorry, I had to say it. Oh wait.
Hey! I no fucking sexist here. All right.
See, no matter what you say, they will always attack a Republican, even if he goes for the affirmative action choice.
Double affirmative action, they still come for him.
All right, Cats and Jupiter. Your choices of the 4 people, you have to pick 2 of the 4 people, okay? All right. Ilhan Omar, Sean King, Bill Clinton, and Michael Moore.
How dare you?
I want to play the game.
Can we cut so I can vomit?
You go first. Here, you go first. I'm going to drape myself in the flag.
I would probably, honestly, choose. If I had to choose, I would choose Bill Clinton and Michael Moore, just because they're the most valuable media assets. Sean King, or Talcum X, as we all know him, is weak and useless. And yeah, I could probably make a lot of money and get into a lot of great parties with those 2. So, but that would be the most useful to me.
Okay, and Jupiter?
It's actually real easy for me. I would obviously go Ilhan Omar, Sean King. Believe me, once you get Ilhan Omar and Sean King in the same round,
Really?
boom!
Really?
Oh, she'll kill him. It's over, Rover. She'll do a little Allahu Akbar. It's over, Rover.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I wasn't. Oh, now I'm in trouble.
Trip, Phalix, and
I've been
Grimace.
drinking.
Who am
I
I to
apologize.
judge?
Okay, here's
Who do I
Trip,
get to choose from?
Trip, Phalix, and Grimace. Here are your choices. Your 4 choices are Mitch McConnell, Ann Coulter, Steven Crowder, and Tommy Lauren.
Crowder and Lauren, 100%, because they get young people.
Oh, okay.
Crowder-
Is this? Wait. Was I asked this because I'm a liberal?
No,
All right. All right. Check it out. All right. So I probably agree with about half of the things Crowder said. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
And Lauren as well. But they get young people, and I think they're, like I said, they're more. I think McConnell is one of those establishment assholes that just is a hypocrite, and he's got to go, and he's smug, and he's always rubbed me the wrong way. He is the male version, the Republican version of Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
Okay, except he doesn't have tremors. So, I'm not stoked on him at all. Who was the other one? I know I didn't like them. Who'd you say?
Ann Coulter.
And Coulter.
Coulter. She's bombastic, and I don't care that she predicted Trump's win. She causes problems. I wouldn't want her anywhere near me.
All right.
But Crowder, I think he's smart. He's calculated. He makes mistakes, and he's a little too. Let's see. He's a little too he's on the offense too much, and he comes across really aggressive sometimes, which would turn people off. But I think there are some things that, like, he can have liberals on his show and be, chill with them and stuff. But and I don't know. I just see him as someone I could talk to, and McConnell would be one who would be like, no, we're not even going to entertain the blah blah blah. That's who he is.
All right.
So I'm just down with the younger
Felix,
types.
what's your answer? Den Grimace.
I wouldn't pick Mitch McConnell because I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be able to hear me when I speak because I speak too quietly. Tommy Lauren grifts about as hard as Candace Owens, so she is the ultimate wild card in the game of wild cards, so I can't pick her. Ann Coulter's fiery. She gets people attention, so she's a good one. And then Steven Crowder is really good at appealing to people who only go on YouTube for their politics. So
You just slighted Tree's audience, bro.
I'm so sorry.
Guess who's not getting the invite back?
That was a
Right,
good
that
answer.
was actually pretty impressive.
That was very
Wait a minute,
impressive.
wait a
I'm not
minute.
gonna lie.
That was pretty impressive,
That was really
though.
good.
That
I'm
was pretty
sorry.
impressive, though.
I'm sorry.
He knew every single person on there, and he.
All right.
Sorry, yeah,
Good.
I love that.
Tree, you can whip me tonight. I'll pay you extra.
All right. Okay, Grimace.
I got you, Felix.
Go ahead, Grimace. What's your answer?
No, I like Felix takes. Mine's pretty similar. They would be advocating for my positions, right?
Yes.
Like if they're on my team, okay, I would definitely get Steven Crowder to bring the uneducated white male, which Democrats struggle with, into the party. No, this is just demographics, okay? And then I would bring in this demographic into the party, and then I would use Tommy Lauren to keep him here, and then we can all vote properly in 2020.
That was actually hilarious. That was
Did
that
you
was a
pick
good
Tommy
answer.
Lauren because she has nice boobs?
No, I picked Tommy Lauren because the
not that
demographic
great.
that Crowder is
Can I-
bringing in is you need to distract them with whatever they find important in their political
Can I pick Tommy and AOC?
No,
No,
too
they
late.
both fly.
Nope. And not only that, AOC
Yo.
is not even on your choosing
Hey,
list.
Tree. Actually, can I play this game? But give me lefties. Can I
Nope.
play this game?
Nope.
Because I feel like I'm the most closest to
Nope.
the center.
Nope.
Can I pick Tulsi and Tommy for my team if I'm going for sex appeal?
I hold up. I want
Oh, they're
fucking
so fly.
Machiavelli and
Nope,
fucking
nope,
Socrates on
nope.
my fucking team.
All right, moving on to the
Wait,
next
wait,
hypothetical.
wait.
We're moving on to the next hypothetical.
Everyone
I want
knows
Tree
if
two
we're going-
times.
If
I want
if we're
Tree
going,
two times.
If we're going sex appeal, there's three answers. There's either me, Crowder, and AOC in a sex round, or there's me,
All three of you got
and
sex?
Tree, or all right, go ahead.
Okay,
Team
we're
AOC.
moving
I need
on
an
to the
adult.
sex. This is the
Back to you.
we're moving on
Back
from the
to
sex part, sex appeal to the last one. Here's your last hypothetical. Okay, now this is to everybody. They're gonna get the same question. Okay, so listen closely. And who am I going to start off with? We'll start off with Grimmett. Archer. We'll start off with Archer this time. But everybody gets the same question. Listen closely. In exchange for $5,000, you are given the power to cast a spell on Trump to lose one of the following abilities. Which
Wait.
one? What?
Lose weight. Sorry, I meant lose weight. I'm sorry.
No. In exchange for $5,000, you are given the power to cast a spell on Trump to lose one of the following abilities. Which one would you choose? 1, lose the ability to tweet. 2, lose the ability to hold rallies. 3, lose the ability to debate. Which one would you choose? Start off with Archer.
Fuck, man. I guess I would go with I go with the tweets. That's probably that'll probably be the best route. All
right.
these cripple Trump.
All right. Okay. Trip, next. What's your question?
Like I said earlier, I think I'd want him to lose the weight, but since that's not an option,
that's not an option.
Since it's not an option, I think actually one of his best tools is Twitter. And I am a free speech advocate, so I wouldn't want him to lose the ability to tweet. But I think I gotta choose one.
Mhm.
The rallies, I think, actually cause actual violence because the left shows up with their stupid shields and their LARPer gear. And if he wasn't having rallies, they wouldn't show up. So in terms of keeping people safe, I would elect probably the rallies to take off because his tweets, they're just, I think it was Tyler, the Creator, said, how can you get cyberbullied? Just close your eyes. And then if he's debating, we need to have people actually have an open discourse like we had tonight. I think this was great. I had a lot of fun. But the rallies, people show up, and people show up with crowbars and bike locks and shit like that. So,
All right. Okay, Cats.
I think I'm going to have to copy that homework. I agree with the rallies. I mean, I don't want him to lose any of them because I think they're all awesome. But if I had to choose just one, Twitter is where Trump, that's his power base. His ability to speak directly to the American people is indisputably amazing. Like, whether you like it or whether you hate it, that's where he gains most of his magic. And I definitely, like, he has to be able to debate, and he has to be able to spread his message. So if I have to choose one, and I don't want to, it's going to be the rallies, because that's really just gravy at that point.
All right. Jupiter, I'm going to let you go next.
Twitter.
Here's Twitter. Get rid of, you lose Twitter.
Number one, you couldn't pay me. You'd have to roll over my dead fucking carcass to take any of those three from the president. I would say just roll me over with a tank. I would be that guy, honest to God. I would be in China putting my hand out for the tanks. But if I have to choose, here's why I choose Twitter. Twitter, as we've seen, as Tree knows better than anyone on this panel. Believe me, she has a bigger audience than all of us put together. It can be taken away from you like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying. And yes, they are trying. But I have seen people's minds blown. I have seen liberals, when they actually go see the president at the rallies, just the feeling of being there. My first Trump rally, I was always a diehard, even when I went in there, but it just lights him up and he lights you up. There's something about being there. There's nothing like it. And I'm sorry, Trip, you're awesome, but you've never been to a Trump rally because I've never seen violence. All across the country, there's been like 2 or 3 incidents and debates, especially with Biden. I wouldn't give that up because when the president of the United States, if Biden wants to go toe-to-toe for even 30 minutes with the president, it's over, Rover.
I was talking about violence from the left, by the way.
No, I know. No, that's what I mean. I mean, it's very rare that they come to actual rallies.
And it has happened on the
Very
right.
rare.
I remember 2015, 16. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is
Thank
like,
you. No, I get your point. Thank you. I appreciate
it. It's very rare on the left. They come to a lot of places, but a Trump rally where there's like tens of thousands of Trump supporters, it's
They're a
very
little
rare
more
they
quiet.
come.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more quiet. Those shields don't do much against tens of thousands.
All right. Felix, your turn.
I would take away Twitter for the sole fact I'm tired of having a fucking heart attack every time I open Twitter with whatever's on the trending page because Trump said something. I guarantee you Trump will tweet something like red flowers are pretty, and then everyone will lose their mind saying that red flowers are like signs of fascism. So if I could just have that. Plus, the conservatives got shit like Gab and that parlor thing that sucks. Just go to that, Trump. Bring all your people to that. Here, I'll make you a deal. We'll take all the stupid K-pop stands and the furries, and you can just go to Gab or Parler or whatever the fuck you have, and chill there. Be there.
Okay. All right. Rafiq, your turn.
Parlor is not really right wing. It's just that people on the right don't do their research before jumping on these so-called free speech platforms.
Preach.
I mean, good darn. Haven't learned from D Live yet.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. They thirsty.
God,
The conservatives so freaking thirsty, man. Go ahead.
It's a tough one because Yeah, I mean, when you go to a Trump rally or even just being in the neighborhood, people just love Trump in America. You just feel invigorated because, you know, when you know hood and you're like, oh, systematic white supremacy, I'm oppressed, or, you know, you're in a liberal white area and you got Karens barking at everybody. It's just, when you're in a Trump rally, it's just, yeah, there's definitely a sense of optimism. But yet the
like it.
yes, but yet the rallies, it's like, I really don't want Trump talk. Well, you can't talk about how low the black unemployment is because, you know, unemployment sucks for everybody, and, you know, all this, you know, pandering. I can't stand that. His tweets, well, you know, as Felix said, Trump could say, you know, red flowers, any flower of any color is pretty, and people just go outraged. So I'll just go with the rallies, so I don't have to hear him try to pander to black folks.
Zing. Zing.
Okay.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Grimace, your turn. Your turn. Which one?
Sure. So, wow. I was going to say Twitter, but after listening to Jupiter and Rafik talk about the religious experience that they're that's going down at these rallies, I'm a little afraid of what they put in the water, but I'm even equally afraid of that. It's just the feeling that they give them at this point. Like, I want them to actually have to concentrate on the ideas and not the I don't know, the good feelings it gives you just to be around a bunch of people who are like-minded as you. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys, that concludes our roundtable. I want to say I had an absolutely, you guys are a ball. It got heated, it got funny, and then all of a sudden it's gotten to the point where it was unpredictable with who was going to say what. I absolutely enjoyed it. I liked this new format I created, and so I will be doing this again. So we're going to go ahead and have you all shout yourself out. And then we'll conclude, and then look forward to me inviting you again next month, okay? So hopefully, hold on, I will say this. I do hope that BJ agrees to the debate, because that means that I can put him and Grimace on the same panel. And you know, I actually, you know, I know sometimes, you know, you guys get a little frustrated with Grimace, but I actually love having him on the panel. So, you know, I do miss him when he's not here and BJ's here, you know what I'm saying? So, but in order to keep the peace, I have to keep them separated. So let's hope that this debate happens where they can basically end on good or at least decent terms. So,
but by the way, Tree, he can come on panels with me if he needs like a break every now and then. That's fine.
No,
that's fine. Yeah, he's absolutely invited on any panel I'm on. But if he needs me to not appear, he doesn't
come on anyone's panel but mine. That's the thing. He's only on my panel. But if you two want to have a debate, yes,
yeah.
If you two, I hope he agrees to this debate so that you two can be on my panel together. That's what I want. That's what I was trying to say. So there you go. All right, Trip, go ahead and shout yourself out, and then we'll go around the room, and then we'll give a good day.
Word. All right, yeah, I don't really do much of the social media thing. I mean, I got like my graffiti shit, but I just like to talk shit on the internet. So everything, I have like Instagram, Twitter, all the things, YouTube, Twitch, at Trip Sucks Bro. But then I have other ones too that have like way more followers and way more like dope shit. But if you want to talk shit, hit Trip Sucks Bro, and then we can argue about something.
All right. Okay.
This is fun. But Tree, by the way, thank you. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming.
Thank everybody else on this thing too. This is awesome.
Archer, go ahead.
You can follow me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter too, Archer CA, as in California. I don't take shit from people who try calling from lefties who try talking shit on debates and shit like that. So if you liked my inner rage today, my inner rage and triggering, go follow me there.
All right.
I did.
Jupiter, your turn.
My name is Jupiter, and I used to have a fairly successful following on both Twitter and YouTube, but then I kind of gave up because it's kind of bad for the soul. and I want to get back to doing solos, but right now I'm only doing videos with my heterosexual life mate, who happens to be a homosexual. That's RCatSK. And I do stuff with Tree. And I just want to say that, Trip, it was a pleasure. And Archer, as usual, Rafik, my man, and Falix, who is slowly coming over to the dark side. But Tree, as usual, I love you. And this was a blast. But if you want to find me, it's Jupiter _ on Twitter and at Jupiter YouTube. And it's been a
Are you going to miss Grimace too?
I love Grimace. No, you know what? Even though I'm a BJ fan, that's my man. But I will
What
tell
kind
you
of
this.
BJ?
Grimace, well, all
Free
of them.
BJ.
Everybody
All of
likes
them.
those. Come
Free-
on.
It's BJ month. But I will say this. No, for real. I'm not even going to say his name, but the Dane, and I know that's kind of, I think that's one of Grimace's boys, much less honest, much more disingenuous. Grimace is
Wait, who?
actually the Dane.
Dario.
I don't know.
You are actually an upfront debater. For what a leftist can be, I love you. No, really, that's
So
genuine.
romantic.
Hey, Dario's
That's
cool, okay?
genuine. Yeah, no, he's not.
All right.
Tell him to take that samurai sword and
Okay, Rafik.
Don't do that. Jesus, after hearing that.
Rafik, go ahead.
Well, Tree, thanks again for having me on the panel. People can find me at rjennings333 on Twitter or Instagram.
All right. And Grimace?
Oh yeah, sorry. Jupiter. When I was just when I put up my hands a second ago, it was the fact that you called me a leftist. Like the leftists, I guess, are the communists. It's this whole like weird
He'll
word game
catch on.
they're trying to take over.
Yeah.
So like that was the only reason I reacted
that
like
was
that. Yeah,
that was a misstep. That was a
Yeah.
misstep.
Yeah,
That
he
was a
didn't mean
misstep.
it. Yeah.
So like
That
no,
was a misstep.
I am a leftist, but I'm not a leftist that they
Right.
want to like.
You're
you know
not
what
a
I'm saying?
commie.
Okay,
Left.
you're
You're
right.
not
left
commie,
wing
you're
or
not far
left
left.
Sure. So like
Archer's a right winger, but I'm a righty. You know, I'm like a hard right winger. It's not
Sure.
fair to call. It's again, you're
yeah,
a
no, I
liberal.
mean, I
I'm
hate
like
the
a-
labels, but yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So twitch.tv/Algrimus. It was a pleasure talking to everyone here. Big Bad Bear Jew, I know you're a proud boy. I know you feel a little shame in running away from me with your tail
Stop
tucked
it.
between the legs.
No, he's
But
not ashamed.
no,
He's
like
not
no,
afraid
I
of
want.
her. Stop.
I understand. I understand the problem, and in a format like this, it's hard to really engage people for long periods
No,
of time.
it's
That's why I
not.
want to have
So
a debate like this.
Stop talking shit
He's
about
not
him
here.
while he's not here to defend
He's
himself.
not here.
No,
Fuck that.
he's not here by choice. By the way, it's not because he's not allowed. But yeah, so like I said, it's that would be great to go down because it's getting
You're not
into
going to get him to
crunch time right
debate
now.
you doing that. You do know that, right?
No, he's a member of the Proud Boys. He has some pride,
It has
right?
nothing to do with him being a member of the Proud
I'm
Boys.
proud of my boy.
It's not.
Proud of my boy.
It's not had nothing to do with that. You do know that, right? It has everything to do with him, how he feels about you. You know, he considers you disingenuous. You take cheap shots,
Yeah.
and you do a lot of dirty
Sure.
shit.
And he's helpless in front of him. He has no idea how to deal with what I say. So he
No,
just says I'm a
he-
bad
Oh my
actor
God.
and that he doesn't want to show up in the panels anymore.
Introspection.
But then we have people like Jupiter who probably hold very similar positions who are out here not like crying and like asking for mama's help or not hiding behind trees like Boots. Like, yeah, like I think that I don't know if that's what you. I guess we're going full Machiavelli now that you guys want to take up the same tactics as the left. But like, I just want to have a discussion because like the way we disagree are on fundamental things, and we don't have the amount of time that we should have. And I want to have this amount of time, and I want to have this discussion.
Okay. Falix.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Oh, it was an experience to be here. Like, well, I can't say like always because I've only been here one other time, but it was fun regardless. If anything else, I know a ton of people love seeing all of us get at each other's throats over internet drama and real life drama. It's crazy. But if you want to see more of me outside here, I have an Instagram and Twitter that I don't post on, but all I do is like other people's stuff and then comment about how they're wrong in my retweets. At Falix11 on
Natural.
both of them. And that's about it. It was really nice meeting all of you. and to the ones I've seen before, it's a pleasure as always, and I will see you in all of your chats. I promise.
Sorry. And last but not least, Cats. My baby, my boo. Cats, I just want you to know, I dote over you, but, you know, Jupiter is number one in my heart. I don't want him to, because he's going to be like, Tree, you don't love me anymore because you kept me doting over Cats. And I'm like, I love Jupiter. I love Cats. I love everybody here, actually. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't like when, I do feel bad when Grimace and BJ don't get along. That does bother me because I want them together, but what can you do? So that just shows how much I care about you guys. So just want y'all to know that. But Cass, go ahead. Take it away.
I don't blame you. I'm happy to be here with all of these amazing, intelligent, and attractive men. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
I'm a virgin. I did not
Say that all you want,
this.
baby.
That sounded gay to me.
You know, I see you, Felix. Like, and we're gonna have to talk one of these days. But anyway,
I'm
That
scared.
sounded gay again.
Cat's gay? Question mark. No one really knows the answer, but I'll be very happy to answer it for you one-on-one.
Oh boy.
On YouTube, on Twitter. Yeah, I'm always happy to have a discussion. Like my only requirement is don't be rude, as my friend Jupiter, who we have the lovely podcast that we do once a week called Caget. You're gonna have to decode that name because Twitch is too sensitive for me to
Yes,
decode
Twitch
that.
is too sensitive.
Oh.
Please don't. No, please.
I'll give you a hint. He's a Jew. I'm a gay.
We get it.
Where's the sex tape? Y'all should start an OnlyFans.
We have one.
Yeah.
Don't give
Well,
them
you
no
know,
ideas. I don't. Come on, y'all.
I have too much body dysmorphia to be on OnlyFans, but Jupiter would probably be fine. But
What he's gonna do? Show his black eye?
It's not the black eye that you want to see.
Dominate. Did I say that out loud?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Cass. This is so rude what we're doing.
It's, you know, whenever you have a hag and two gays on one channel, like, you know, it's gonna go bad. I'm sorry, everyone knows this. Like, you know this, Tree, everyone knows this. Like, but this is hilarious and fun, and I hope to do it again soon.
All right, same here. You all take care of yourself, and yeah, I will definitely see you all next time. And thank you so much for coming by. And yeah, say goodbye to everybody.
Later, guys. Later. It's been real. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.